talk related to like what maybe things in the book you're already doing versus something that you might want to add, kind of thing. What did you have in mind?
That sounds great. Do you mean Hearthstone goals in general or goals for today, like specifically?
I think we would have, we could have both, right? One of a long-term goal versus like my goal for like today or this week, So
Yeah, sounds good. And I would love, because I'm a total book girly, I would love to hear just like a breakdown of like overall arching themes for the different chapters or sections in your book. Just to, because I'm sure a lot of people are interested in it and it is brand new. And we'd love to all learn from your experience.
yeah, and and you could go and like queue up a game. I know the chat loves games.
Okay.
Having that, you watch the shorts where there's like somebody's like talking about something, but there's a car in a game going somewhere, like that, for the ADD chat. Um, so, so yeah, I think so. The book um, is really like written. The target audience is actually like 12-year-old me. And 12-year-old me. So let me tell you about 12-year-old me. 12-year-old me uh, wanted to be the best, but would never actually reflect. Right? I had all these brilliant friends who were great at games and great at things, and I would just hate them for being better than me. Right? I didn't seek out help. I kind of just thought people were good or not, and I thought I was good, and then my friends started surpassing me, and then I just feel mad, right?
I
Um,
will fight with
and and then so um, really it's like kind of the book does a little bit of like, we'll go through my life where it's like, okay, I played, I finally, instead of, we'll go over, talks about in high school, I did really well in chess on my board because I finally learned how to study, right? And I did some stuff on the end game. Um, and so it's kind of like the whole process. And, if you read the book, a lot of the stuff's going to be obvious. It's going to be like, you should think about what happened in the game and why you lost. And like, oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
obviously people don't do that, right?
Which is
Um,
super important.
yeah. So the book is in 6 chapters. Um, so the first chapter is objectives, and objectives are in Hearthstone win conditions, right? What is the win condition in Hearthstone?
The sands speak, and I listen.
Oh, are you asking me?
Yeah.
I thought this was a philosophical question. Win
Oh yeah.
condition in Hearthstone is different for every single matchup. You have to figure out if you're the beatdown deck. You have to figure out if you're the like the outlasting deck, and then you have to play each game according to whatever that particular matchup is. So I feel like it's not static; it changes.
I think that's like the second level higher. I'm actually going to go a level lower. So you're taking like the high level of like what is so like you're winning with tempo or winning with a value based. But what is the most low level win condition in Hearthstone?
Uh, Maintain your health and remove your enemy's health.
Yep, put their life down to 0, right? Um, so even like a control deck ultimately wants to control the board so they can put their opponent's life down to their life down to 0 later, right? It just doesn't do that in the early turns. Every deck kind of has the same win condition, but it does it in kind of different ways. And even this concept of like winning with value is I've kind of already broken things down into smaller objectives, which is one of the books called the mini objectives. So, winning board, the value winning board is when you have a bunch of minions on board and your opponent can't answer them. They can just do tons of damage to your opponent's face, right?
Yeah.
So, so the first it's kind of the idea is that you have your objectives and your objective is put your opponent's life down to 0. And every action is either good or bad based on does it help you put your opponent's life down to 0. Does that make sense?
Yep. Very high level.
So, yeah. So we put things down, and like the first, like, what do you think, like the first things in Hearthstone you'll learn about, like the first like concepts?
Like when I first started playing, or when someone starts playing in general?
You could say yours, or you could say what you think in general. Both are fine.
Well, you start learning all the cards, and you progress to like learning all the decks and what the current meta is.
Mhm.
You kind of learn like probabilities of certain events occurring. You learn how hard is too hard. Like, I think when I started playing, I was not averse to taking damage.
Okay, yeah. My dad was like that too, where I crafted him a Zoo Warlock deck, and he cut the Flame Imps for these lifesteal cards, 1-drops. He's like, why would I want to take damage? So, oh, you were not, you were okay with taking, you're the opposite of my dad. Is
Yeah,
that
I'm very
right?
much a warlock at heart.
Okay, yeah.
I'm like, what
So,
damage?
yeah, exactly. Um, so the so the concept is like we break things down um, into values, right? So even there, like there was a value. So what were the trade-offs we did in our turn here? What did we? So when we did the order, it was probably better to do the bird watching first, right? To see what we get. But let's say we were to decide to go with the bumbling bellhops over the
Wait, can I
hagatha.
ask you a question about that? So normally I would discover first, but because this is a card where it draws 2 minions of different types, isn't it better to have like a higher chance of drawing 2 minions of different types before you
Oh,
discover something?
but you were playing the bellhop. This is on turn 6, right?
Oh! I
Um,
thought you were talking about the turn before. Okay, never mind.
no. So okay, yeah. So um, I the correct order would say play this, and there was an advantage to playing the hagatha, but it might have been better to do the other. So what was the trade-off between us playing the of going? What was the advantage of going the double bellhop versus what was the advantage of going hagatha?
Advantage of going Hagatha is like drawing your spells as minions before you draw them natural. And advantage of Bellhop is one of the biggest threats in the deck that I'm facing is Coconut Cannoneer. So I want to have like board presence to pick off Coconut Cannoneer before I die.
I think that the simpler answer was just tempo. Like you put 10-10 worth of stats on board there. And so that, gets you very close to winning the game, right? Um, where I think Coconut Cannoneers, maybe I haven't played against that much. I guess I'm not as afraid of it.
I hate aggro Paladin with a passion. I love Paladin, don't get me wrong. But yeah, Coconut Cannoneer instills fear in my heart.
Okay.
I've died to it a
So,
fair few times.
yeah. Interesting. So I don't, I personally am not as afraid of Coconut Cannoneer. So one of the things I talk about is, so in the world of poker, players are often, when they have kings, really afraid that their opponents have aces, right? Um, so there might be a situation where your fear of Coconut Cannoneer is not really in line with reality of like it's not as actually. I used to always hate folding in poker. Like I always thought they didn't have it. Um, do you think you think Coconut? I would have even traded. I would have gone face that turn and just put him down to 4 life. That's what I wanted to do.
Okay.
Because then it's so. But that's the concept of even me looking at that. That's a concept of study of having like networks of friends in the book where you have if you look at like when pro players talk with each other, they all disagree often on the play. And you really get to see their personality based off what play they do. Some players are like the hyper aggressive players. Some players are the like, let's win the long game. That's kind of me. But so usually we have sort of our own biases in our play.
So it's interesting that you said let's win the long game, but then you would choose not to remove the biggest threat in your opponent's deck. Can you talk to me more about that? Because I want to learn from that.
I actually think me 4 years ago would have traded. But because I had this like, well, you know, I have the 8/8s. I guess basically I think once they're at 4 life, they're just so their deck doesn't actually have like good ways to fight for board, and I think you had just won the game with going face there.
Okay,
You have taunt away.
that's fair.
I don't know their deck exactly, but I think you're just under no real, like not like a real intense threat. And probably trading is almost always winning there too. But it's a spot where I think just in general, like that going, you know, so when you have an 8 like a 7 attack minion and they're at 11 life, and you have like 30 life, so you have a lot of life. You have the board advantage. You have more board than them. And you can put them down to 4 life, and your life total safe. Just seeing not going face based on those general criteria is probably incorrect. The 7 face damage means you just barely, like you can top deck, you know, Alakir there and just win from hand. Stuff like that. So when they're at, so it's different between like if they're at like 30 life, you might trading looks better, but when you can put it on to 4 life, they're just one real hit away from death. If that makes sense.
Yes, it does. I agree with you. In retrospect, I played that too conservatively.
And what's interesting is that's a spot where it probably doesn't matter, right? So
But I could have won with one fewer movement on my last turn.
Yeah,
and you know, there are games where like, and the reason I think that is important and it does matter is because there are games where sometimes you go off of like how it feels and not necessarily like analyzing the play as much. And so it's good to have that kind of muscle memory where, you know, you make the correct play whether or not it means that you would have won either way.
So the book in the chapter 1 talks about this conflict of like, do we do what feels, I'm doing air quotes, you can't see it, what feels right? Like, how do we decide what is good? And I talk about sort of maybe the deep analytical ways of good, but you know, do we just ignore our feelings? Like, how do we use our feelings as a guide while we're playing? You know, because you know, I felt going face was right. Like I'm still listening to my feelings there, right? So, well, how would you say you'd use your feelings? Where do you listen to your feelings versus where do you like ignore your feelings when you're playing Hearthstone?
When I say like listen to my feelings, I mean like I don't know. I don't really I go off of like what I feel is probable based off of statistics. Like, you know, does my opponent right now has 2/3 of their deck left? What is likely and like what feels like the right play instead of like knowing the exact statistics, I guess. Like I know there are some players who know, okay, if I am discovering off of this particular card, I have this percentage probability of discovering this versus something else. And like, you know, but I feel like when I say going off of feeling, it's like a general probability instead of a specific statistic.
Yep. I mean, and that's the way I play too. It's too much energy to be constantly like doing math, all right? And you know, I say to my chat, math is for nerds, anyways. I was a math major, but
I was too.
Okay, yeah. So it's it's kind of a thing of like you don't want. Sometimes it's good to do the math outside of the game. So like, let's say you're like doing a discover card a lot, and you want to know like, okay, what's the probability that I hit this card? You might look up like, okay, there's 22 cards that this card can pick up. The 20 cards I can pick up here.
Do you actually do that?
No, I actually done the math, so I'll remember that next time. And that can be very helpful. So
I've literally never done that, but I respect the commitment.
yeah, so players don't really do that in Hearthstone as much. Players do that a lot in poker, where
Okay.
they go and analyze like the math behind it, because it's hard to do it live in the moment. Um, so they'll, I talk about a
The
poker
sun
friend
speak, and I listen.
where what they did was they like looked at like 1,000 games, and I don't know much poker, but they found when they were calling an early position raise with ace queen on the button, they were losing money, right? And they had like 1,000 hands like that, and they had to look at a huge amount because they think, oh, ace queen is a good card, a good hand, right? But they were losing because your hand opponent often had ace king, um, and so they decided they should be folding in that spot. Um, so that's like a really advanced thing, but you don't. That's more than necessary for most people. But that's kind of the overall concept of like going and doing the studying and then doing the math, but then in the moment trusting your feelings, and then afterwards being like, okay, my feelings were way off here, or my feelings are spot on here. Like that's interesting. I need to remember that. So.
Sun stream.
So I think we're talking about we're the chapters. So we had objectives, which is like about breaking things down uh, and then into individual values and how we sort of use our feelings, or maybe we use pure different measures for what is good. Failure is the next chapter, and that's about like, okay, you didn't do as well as you liked. How do you use that? Like, how do you interpret that? How do you go about the next step? The next chapter is reflection, and it's about you kind of thinking about like what happened, interpreting. Oh,
I
it's,
know. I was like, oh,
yeah,
they high rolled that.
and then
Hopefully it goes face. Yes, thank you. Oh, bummer. What would you have done there? I'm curious.
oh, completely. I probably just could have gone Ziliax. Uh, I also probably would have played just Wish Upon a Star a lot earlier. Uh, it's against Warrior. Warrior has really good removal, so it's okay. It's all about like having that continuous awkward pressure. So having your stat minions being buffed. I also think you played your Shutter Block. You kind of like forced yourself into to where you could have waited to play your Shutter Block to have more flexibility. Um, these are all little adjustments. Um, but you can see how complicated, like there's you have a lot of different options every turn. Um, and that makes it hard because it's which is the best option. You also have
Mm-hmm.
this amazing location, which is amazing with Alkir. So it's kind of a situation where if you get ahead on board and you can just have a continuous like small level of pressure, but your opponent is kind of doing a really good job of controlling your board.
Yeah, they
Uh,
are.
so, and now it's like they have the 35 life, they have the location down. So I think we kind of structured our plays in a way that was suboptimal. Um, Even here, I would have gone Ziliax because Ziliax value trades better, and you could use the life total. Um, why did you save Ziliax over just going the Murloc Grofin here?
I prefer playing Ziliax second.
Why?
Because I find that if I'm first, it's more difficult to sometimes remove my opponent's Ziliax than.
Okay. Yeah.
You are
So
safe now.
yeah, I think hmm, you're right. Like that's what's interesting. So you're right that in that case, but there's just more than one case. Um, so it is, and that's something. So yeah. So this is like this is my interesting impression. I think you like will have these situations. Tell me if I'm wrong, where something like goes wrong and you remember it, and then you turn it into kind of like this always principle of like, all right, never play Ziliax until my opponent plays Ziliax. Um, is there some truth to that?
Well, we're both mathematicians, so I feel like we're both averse to universals. I try I try not
Well,
to
that's what it
like
felt like because I
say
felt like it
never
was.
do something, but at like
Yeah,
as a
yeah, yeah.
general rule, I try to not play with Ziliax first. But
Oh,
there are
okay.
definitely times when I will, like you know, if you're in a
Yeah,
corner or if it's like a huge advantage.
yeah.
But I didn't feel like Ziliax versus the buffed Grofin was like a huge advantage there.
Okay.
So I don't know.
So yeah, so it's it's and you can see like now the Ziliax is
Oh yeah, now that would have been important.
keep playing there, right? Um, so that's more my concept of like your life total. Um, and it has the advantage of the divine shield where it doesn't take damage when it changes the 8, or the other
That's
one
true.
doesn't. So these are just all these small things. But then what is my brain doing? My brain's just doing all these calculations quickly and then just kind of vibesing. I feel like Ziliax was better. And I can give you the sort of my pro cons checks of like the principles. Um, but I think that's the kind of the thing. Let's actually do you have a replay of that game? Oh, we
Hmm.
already gave.
Yeah, I could look through. We have that in Firestone, right?
So I've the Hearthstone deck. So let me see if it saved it for me. Uh, no, it did not. All right, it's not the spectated games. But so yeah. So I think there just was like Warrior plays differently than like so Warrior's a control matchup. And I think there's like it's a lot about like spacing out your threats and kind of always creating this little bit of board tension. Um, and I think that there was just this I think in the previous game there was like the overall vibe was like there was just a little bit of inefficiency that you didn't always have this pressure, so you weren't able to get to your good plays. You know, you had that amazing Elise location, right? A 5/5 and +2 attack.
I
And then
know.
we had the Ziliax and
But
this
then they
buff.
cleared half the board and it was no longer amazing.
Yeah. And so I think, we had some so this is the concept of slow plays versus fast plays. Where there are some so I used to I remember I used to coach Galakrond Priest. Do you remember Galakrond Priest?
Yes.
And what was the guy that drew Galakrond or did the Galakrond ability? I can't remember. Like
It- hmm.
let me see, Galakrond Hearthstone.
Oh, Kronks? Someone in chat said
Kronks.
Kronks.
Yes, Kronks. And I had like multiple students that they would just never play Kronks. They would just hold him forever, right? And because he's not an efficient play, right? He is he's this play where you play him, and it was only a 5/5, right? Where the other cards have more immediate impact.
But
But
wait,
then they
didn't Kronks
never,
also have like a secondary effect where if you were also already Galakrond, didn't it do something special for you?
yeah. So they also would save it for that value, right?
Okay.
And then they just wouldn't draw their Galakrond, and then they would lose. And there was all these spots where they needed to like take this Galakrond play, but they wouldn't. So I had to jam it and like, no, play your Galakrond and then play Galakrond and win the game. Uh, and that was like a very common situation. So I think there's like this element of there are plays, and so it's hard because we like first thing we learn in Hearthstone is like tempo, tempo, tempo. Play your most powerful thing every turn, get on board, win the game. And then eventually to learn like, okay, what are the slower plays, right? Even you have a really interesting situation here, where what do you think is your, you know, the fast plays are like Murden, but what do you think is your optimal sort of 3-turn setup right now?
If I didn't have 2 taunts in the way, I would 100% play Murden to get rid of Mukla. But I think since we have Hagatha, we're looking at our 6 and 7, hopefully.
Yeah, I think especially now that we just grew this Grofin.
Even if we hadn't drawn the Grofin, I still think Hagatha's queen in this deck, so.
Yeah. So now we get we're able to, let's see, what do we want? You see the 1-1 and the 2-2-1 and then the 3-2 into the 2-2. Oh, going face here. Okay, the opposite. So I think I would have traded in this scenario. Because you're allowing the 2-5 to take, but mainly because like we want to be going shutter block into like fairy tale slime and win the game, right? That's kind of like our win condition with our hand.
Wait, what would you trade it into? The 2-5?
The 2-1 because I'm surprised. I thought they would have taken 2 value trades there.
Yeah, I thought they were going to trade the 2-5 into the taunt.
Yeah. So because we have a play here that we have, like, once we play this shutter block into the fairy tale slime, if we can manage to control the board long enough to get that down, it's over. Oh, I would have traded on the 5-6 here.
Really? Even though we're still at 26?
Yeah. Yes, because basically them like doing a bunch of face damage is the only way you lose. Because once you slam this Wish Upon a Star, you're so ahead. And you can see like they're gonna remove this stuff and then push 5, where they would now you took 2 attack off the board instead of 5. And
I was trying to stay wide.
Why do you want to stay wide there?
So that we have more buffed minions from Wish.
Yeah, so I think that's really optimistic. I think our opponent's very likely to remove our minions here, and
Okay.
they did. So
that is a character flaw of me in general. I'm overly optimistic.
Yeah, so it's I try to be both paradoxically like optimistic and pessimistic. We're like things are gonna be badly, but we'll be okay, you know? So
that's funny.
So we actually have an interesting, you know, I think we can probably get away with the Wish Upon a Star. But you can see they're gonna get, you know, a lot more damage. I
think we're okay though.
Yeah.
Because we have double gigantic Grofin, and like the most they're gonna get off of this is kings. Probably.
Yeah. They can create like this location is like bull generator, you know. We don't know. So I think like I was gonna say this so there's just a lot of things that can happen here where, you know, even this, like they got taunts now, and see how this taunt.
But that's okay because we have Murden.
Murden? Yeah. We don't even really want to be playing Murden here though. Like we want to be playing...
That's true.
Yeah.
But like if we're worried about not going face, we still get to go face. And we get rid of this pesky Mukla that's been on board for like 3 turns.
I think they're gonna come kill you here. I think we have to adjust and go triple Frosty Decor here. Otherwise we're gonna die. Venus 5 here?
Oh yeah, that looks worse.
Yeah. So I think we have to go like Shutter Block into Frosty Slime here, because that's like, otherwise you're at 2 risk of dying here. But you could see why, like, if they hadn't gone face, they would be at 4 life, and they would just be able to go fireball face here, right? So this is like 4 turns ago, like why I wanted to kill the Mukla so badly, because you have this
I
powerful
get that
value,
now.
right? So, what am I doing on, like, because we're talking about the high level. What am I doing at the high level? I kind of have a general adjustment of, I know we're going to have a huge tempo advantage if we can get this 7 mana card down. So I'm negating, because the 6/4 into the 2/5 is probably the better value trade. But I'm going against that because I'm saying we don't need to do big value trades because we're going to have so much value in the form of overstated minions that we don't need that. You see, like, the kind of the high level adjustment I'm making there?
Yeah, I was just worried that this was like a Protoss quest hybrid.
Mm-hmm.
And I have died to Dios Colossus on like turn 8 with, I don't know, 40, 50, 60 armor.
Mhm.
But like, okay, so when you're weighing a threat like that, how do you decide whether to deal with an immediate board or a perceived board?
So, once again, it's we're dealing. So what's the perceived board? So what the immediate board is the 5/6 and the 2/5, right?
Yeah.
What's the perceived board?
The perceived board is like, all right, I've been in this situation before where it's been like a Protoss quest mage, and I'm thinking I'm gonna die no matter how much armor I have. So I need to just like if they're playing that many Protoss spells, maybe I just rush and try to
So
pressure
I think
earlier,
in
which
the
was
short
also
term,
the strategy with Quest Warrior. Because I feel like the longer those games go on towards fatigue, like the chance of winning just decreases exponentially.
yep. I think after the game, so in the moment you gotta do what your brain says, right? You don't have it's too complicated. But afterwards, you could be like, wait a second, they never played a Colossus, right? Oh, they were quest mage and they were running Protoss spells, but just to have the Protoss spells, but they never actually played the Colossus, right? Um, and then you make the connection of, I don't actually need to be worried about Colossus. They don't actually run it in their list. Make sense?
Yeah.
So I think that's, and then we think about that, and that's the reflection step of, like, what happened, what did we get right, what did we get wrong, and, like, the very thing is, like, you might think they had a Colossus win condition, but they didn't actually have that. So I feel like I would just slam bellhop and then take the high king hammer and go double face. So Elise isn't bad either. That's kind of my instinct.
I was gonna
Uh,
look for why would you go Muradin over Elise here?
I'm not gonna go murder. I'm gonna go high king's hammer and go double face. Um, so I think it's because this puts like 24 health worth of stats, and then you could just start hitting face for the win condition. So if they keep blizzarding you, um, so this is a 12 damage the first time, but then the second time it will be 20 damage, so 20 plus another 2, so 22 damage. So you can win in 4 turns if they just keep freezing your board. So that's like me thinking. So I think going Elise was okay there too, especially if you get like 10 mana location and a big armor play.
Well, and like this late in the game, I try to look for summon a 10/10 copy because I know I'm drawing Alakir soon.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think it's also, recognizing, like, how close you are to winning, because you just draw Alec here. It's gonna have +6 attack, right? So it already does 18 burst, and they have 26 life. So you would, if you drew Alec here, you would have lethal from hand next turn. So,
That's true. I won't
and
even need the location.
yeah,
one's out on me.
What do you think I want to do if I here?
What do I think you would want to do?
Yeah.
Probably get more armor because she could be holding stuff that goes face.
What
Yeah, but at the
interesting
same time, so I
Or
kind of
would you
want.
break this and play Muradin to get it back again?
Yeah, so I think so. I would go double face, then I'd play Muradin, and then I'd go Frosty Core for just one minion. I would trade on the 2/4 first, and then on the 3/3. I'm okay with them stealing the life. And what I'm trying to do here, I mean, they're probably going to freeze, but like, what's nice now, I guess, it's nice now if this Muradin dies, we have 2-turn lethal from hand, so they can kind of just keep freezing, and we have this Murloc Grofin ready to go. If they somehow by some miracle clear the board. So, but
We have an interesting comment in chat. I think the difference between high legend and lower ranks is that at top legend, you can remember specific opponents and what they play. That's really funny. That's a good insight. Yeah, I don't recognize the names of most of the people I play against. But that is definitely a nice advantage to be able to have. I'm stuck just trying to remember archetypes.
I think so when I go play on Wild, I think I have a hard time getting to the highest ranks, but I will just play good fundamentals. Wow, I did break for some miracle clear the board. Okay.
I know that was nuts. Well, now we know one of those is explosive runes.
Okay. This is interesting. Interesting because like this is actually the first tough decision because we can. So if we assume one is Ice Barrier, right? This is 20 damage. So we have two main options. One is we go Grofin and try and win with tempo. We also could do something like Elise here. Take like even a 10 mana location and then play weapon and then get the plus attack thing, right? If we get the plus attack spell, then we would be able to go Wind Fury and lethal them because it gives a +4 attack. So that would be 9. So that'd be 18 damage. So that'd be exactly 28 damage over 2 turns. I kind of like that line. Let's go for that line. So play Elise, look for 10 mana location. You're looking for plus attack and then whatever after that. So let's see. Yeah, characters +4 attack here, and then I think armor probably is best here. And then go go weapon and I think double face. And this is me thinking like, I guess we could go the static shock on the 3/1, but now it's too late. It's probably counterspell though, so I think it's fine to not. So play stats in it. I know, right, Chris? That's all this game is, right? So the reason I didn't want to go Grofin there is it's much easier for them to just like freeze this than it is to stop this weapon win condition. Ooh, that could be another Ice Bear. Let's see, how much damage is this? Probably not lethal, unfortunately.
Yeah, we only have we have 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So if it's ice block, we don't have enough.
Yeah. How likely do we see what this was? Oh, this is from Hidden Objects, so I think it probably is Ice Block. So it might be better. I feel like we go Underquake first to proc the counterspell, and then we just go Grofin, and then we set up for 2-turn. We also could just go like location is good too. I don't know. It's what do you think?
I think I'd like to get rid of the counter spell because otherwise we don't want to just hero power for 2 mana. We can get the other static shock.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yep. For some reason I thought the static shot to the Thunderquake would get. Well, let's hold weapon here. Let's not hit with it because it's better with the location because you get the +4
Oh,
attack
true,
twice.
true,
So,
true.
so
Oh no! Why? Why did I do that? Oh, now we're getting frozen. Now do I do it? Because then.
So okay, well now
Oh wait,
let's
but they have to choose between
static
taking
shock.
10 or taking 14.
Take the static shock on the 3/4, and then go face one, and then weapon hit the 3/6 on the second one.
Saved.
So what's the good thing? So this is like what the reflection step. The reflection is we thought it was Ice Barrier for sure, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
And that's just a good thing to like think about. Like we thought, like I thought Ice Barrier for sure, right? So that's just these are like the little things that we're gonna reflect more. Don't queue up into a game. We just want to talk about like what happened this game, and like kind of where our expectations didn't align with reality. What we kind of thought and then what actually happened. Oh no, dude, that's so unlucky. Oh my god. Death roll out of all the cards? Oh, that's brutal.
Okay.
What?
Oh, what? Wait, no, this is actually really bad.
I think we lost.
Because this has Reborn too. What?
Give it. Oh no. Scammed. And we had the lethal.
Oh man. We still have Ziliax.
This is, I mean, it's so good.
They're roping.
And we, you know,
Oh, what did they get?
My fault. So insane young bucks. Putting his other one life.
We could get Ziliax here. Oh, but now we don't have the mana to play it.
Yeah. So I think this is a really interesting game. So.
Wait, they have 11.
Yeah, you can play it. You know, let's give ourselves another turn. Right. So one is like I think like remember you kind of thought, oh, they're gonna like do this powerful Colossus play, but really the game went a lot longer than I think you thought, and I think I knew that, like, because I played this matchup, but I think that would be just so the step on reflection is just kind of like going be like, okay, what happened? Where was I wrong about things? What plays? I think our weapon play was a really good play, where instead of just playing for board, we recognize they're freezing our board. We have enough stats on board. Let's start hitting with the face because that would have won us the game if like we hadn't played around Ice Barrier, right? So that's something to remember. Like play the weapon when we have a frozen board that our opponent is kind of stopping us on. So I think these.
Why did they not Firelands first? Come on, bruh.
Come on, bro.
Oh, holy BM, right?
Yeah.
Based.
So yeah. So I think that was a game that, you know, with a few adjustments, we definitely win that game. You know, even I think that trading the Mukla was a little bit better. Because we forced us to go our shutter block because we were under pressure into the 5-drop, right? We were dying.
Which feels terrible.
So, yeah, but it was necessary.
Yeah.
So, and it was a lot harder to kill that. So I think you went for what the traditional value trade when you're 2 tempo decks fighting for board. You traded into the 2/5 there, where and that's something where I think you wouldn't have seen that, where that's like a nice thing to have, like a friend be like, oh, why didn't we trade into the Mukla, right? So I think that's kind of so the reflection step is the like, and then also thinking like they didn't have Colossus and you thought they had Colossus, right? And that really altered a lot of your high level game plan, right? So that's another like, I know it's like nobody does it TBD, right? Even I don't do it, right? I'm bad, you know, I do it a little bit when I'm, but more when I'm trying to get number one. But it's so I think that's the reflection step of the process of just we played this. Where did things work? Where did things not work? What were we wrong about? What were we right about that we didn't expect to be right about? Like what was a play that we did? You know, I think even, you know, let's say you play something, oh, they're going to play Zilliax here, and they don't play Zilliax. That's a good spot to be like, hey, they didn't play the card I thought they were going to play the counter me. Remember that. And we don't always have to like make a giant epiphany off of that. We just want to give our brain important data points of like how to reference what happened. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so I do reflect after each game, but I think what I need to work on is like like basing my decisions less on what has happened in bad situations and more on
Ah,
what is more common.
yes.
Because
So
I know that, you know, Dios Colossus does not happen very often, but when it does happen, it feels so bad that it's one of those combos that I feel like I probably play around more than I should.
yes. And so the book talks about this, and I talk about I had to fix this problem in my poker game. But the first step is accepting you have a sort of an emotional bias in your play. Um, and what you have to do is you have to so let's say we're overly afraid of Dios plays, right? Is that a simple bias? Is that fair?
We're what? Overrating what?
We think after reflecting we're a little too afraid of Dios combo plays.
Totally.
So next time, because you know you have this bias, right? We've concluded from this conversation you're biased in this way, right? Um, so next time, when you're in that situation, you feel that feeling of like, oh, the Dios is coming, right? We just say we're gonna fight that, and we're gonna ignore it completely. We're gonna go with like they don't have Dios.
We're gonna go with what?
We're gonna say they don't have Dios. We're just gonna fight it completely and ignore that emotional impulse, or and do the other side, play not around Dios. That's what we do. We fight our own emotional instinct, and we get practice of even like this. And here's what's hard: once in a while, you're still gonna, and
Yep.
what your brain is gonna say is like, "This was wrong. I'm never gonna play around Dios again."
uh,
You can't. That's the hard part. You have to be like, okay. Sometimes they're gonna have Dios, right? Um, just like yeah. Uh,
that is the hard part.
yeah. And I would have to do this. So I kind of learned this lesson from poker where I would call too much, right? And then once in a while I do
Okay,
the
as a non-poker player, can you explain what is calling?
so okay. So in poker, either you know, often you'll be in, let's just say you get the situation where there's two people left in the hand, and one person bets. They might say there might be $100 in the pot, and they bet $50, and either you have to put your own $50 in too, or you fold, and then they get the $100, right?
Okay.
So that's the concept. So I would call too much, and I recognize that. But sometimes I was working on not on folding more, and sometimes you fold, and then they show the bluff, and you were wrong, and it would make me so mad,
No,
right?
no.
So mad, and I had to like recognize it's okay. Like sometimes your opponents get to win the hand.
Yep.
Like you can't win every hand, and that doesn't mean your play was even wrong. But like
Yep.
I would just because I was, you know, it's funny. I can remember all these hands from my life where I folded, and then they were bluffing. I barely remember the hands where I called and I just lost $200. Like I can't. So my brain is remembering all these hands, and if you know, like the stream, I hate giving up in the game, right? And I ban chatters when they tell me to give up and I win. Um, well, I had that same trait in poker, except in poker, you actually lose money when you give up, or when you don't give up, right?
Yeah.
So I had to recognize that. And we all have these kind of, and then eventually, after reflecting enough, I finally figure out the logic of like why I have to fold, and why it's the right play. So it's very tough when we have these biases, because these biases, but like the first step is recognizing you have a bias, and you learn that from networking, from watching other players, from having friends who say, hey, I think you have a problem, you just keep playing around Dios, like this is an intervention, like How I Met Your Mother style.
If that's what my intervention is about, I feel like I'm doing pretty well in life.
Probably, yeah. So yeah, so the book is like all these little things of like all these little spots, where it's like, okay, you know that stuff that I just talked about straight from the book, um, and the of like how we approach these situations, and even figuring out we have a bias is hard, and having I did an interview with Fury Hunter, and who got second place at Worlds, and the thing that he's doing way better than me on his habits, is he's networked with all the pro players, and they're looking at each other's games, and they're analyzing every play, and they're pushing against each other, and they're getting everything perfect, and they're not just one person; they're a network of people challenging each other, and
like hive
confronting each other.
minding every game.
Yep. And there actually are disadvantages to hive minding, because you can get like bubble thinking, but it's better to be a bubble of 10 people than a bubble of just you sometimes.
Wait,
So,
you could get bubble what?
or I'm more there there are advantages of sometimes like being outside of the bubble, because you might come up with a strategy that no one else did,
Oh, okay.
but usually it's the other way, where you're just one person, and your biases, so having the groups of people, so to challenge each other's biases, um so uh so, so I think, so yeah, so I think we have we often have to study, because I'm seeing certain biases in your play that might not be obvious to you, just because I'm not just because I might be a high level player, but just because I'm a different person. Like you can find somebody who's going to have a different bias and challenge your point of view on your plays. And then you can take that and then you can reflect and think, okay, where is my friend wrong versus where am I right? And that's like a really crucial skill to getting better, of like challenging kind of the way you're approaching things, studying, and then reflecting.
What
And that's like
biases
just a
have you
huge.
seen so far from the small sample size?
Oh, I did even, I think some for like immediate tempo. Some also like I've disagreed a lot of spots you use coin. Um, so of like, but I think you've done a lot of plays where I think I would have spent all my mana, where you went for the most tempo on the board right now.
Okay.
And that's the default play. Like the thing is, like that's the first thing you teach a player when they're playing Hearthstone. Like they're just floating mana left and right. You say stats, 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 but eventually you have to go full circle and say, okay, we have the stats, but like um what is the more like kind of well-rounded way of looking at it? So even this, I would have killed the 3-2 there.
Really?
Absolutely. I'm surprised that why did you go into the Zilliax there?
Because this is gonna double every turn. Next turn I can pick it off with Furious Foul. If I leave it there and I get rid of either Foxy or Pterodax, then I'm probably dying the turn after. You don't think?
Well, I think they're going to have to trade their Ziliax into your 2/4 there. And by killing the Foxy, they're more likely to have to do that. And then when they do that, it's going to be at 3 health. And then when you do that, then it's going to be at 5 health. So your Furious Fowls is going to kill it.
I figured
You
they
see
would
that?
trade the Ziliox into the frog.
Let's see if they do that.
Well, now we don't know, right? Because Foxy's still on board. So if they're planning on shadow stepping it, maybe they'll leave it alone.
Well, they're able to do.
I must
So
choose soon.
it's also an interesting thing that you're going to kill the Ziliax, but then you're still going to have to deal with this 16 damage. That's another kind of interesting conundrum here.
That's true, but that was not on the board yet.
Yeah. So it's a little surprising. This is tough. We're probably losing.
Yeah, I think so.
So there's definitely like biases I can see in your play that would be kind of hard to figure out on your own. And I think like the best way to go about that is to like study other people. Are you looking for lightning totem?
I was looking for spell damage because then we could have
Yeah.
gotten rid of everything except for 16.
Yeah. So the book is more just like how you approach this process of like figuring out, okay, breaking things down and then figuring out. I think the big thing if you're playing a deck is like if you're trying to get better at it, where am I doing things wrong, right? And I think one the reflecting on like what happened in the game, talk about sort of challenging our emotional biases, and then I think studying other players, both like having friends and peers, but also watching top players play your deck and seeing like what are they doing different than mine, using the top players to challenge your biases, right? Um, and I think so. The book is a lot about that. Uh, so the practice section of the book is a lot easier for Hearthstone because we have like MMR and we're always playing against players of similar skill. Where if you're playing basketball and you're always playing against your friends and you start to get way better than your friends, it might be not as good a practice. You might have to go up to a higher league, stuff like that. So
Well, on that note, could I watch you play this deck?
okay. Let's see. You want to Discord me your deck list so we keep that the same.
Oh, sure. Play versus AI. I don't know how helpful that would be.
Yeah, decom is such a big game. Yeah, and it's hard because like there's so many little things in Hearthstone and people don't recognize it. And I know because I'm like, but I didn't know that for the first years I started, right? And you've kind of add one value and you add another value. And you keep on adding these things. Even that that play where I thought we should go face there, and you traded into the 2/6. I know year one me or year two me would have traded. Like I just know I did that kind of play all the time. Super affordable. Yeah, so it's it's the book is cheaper than subbing twice. So and I'd rather people buy the book than sub twice because especially if you really want to help and you think it's after you read it, of course, and you think it's wow, this book saved my life because now I can get Legend in Hearthstone. Then go write a review. So far the reviews are more joking reviews, but yeah.
Well, when you
Someone
phrase it like that.
said, I think someone said this book changed my life. Not sure for better, but it definitely changed it.
uh,
All right, I'm
chat,
in
don't
game
be
one.
chat on the reviews. That's funny. Yeah, I'm not sure if book review community understand Twitch chat. Learn to read. I didn't know you knew how to read.
Sorry, Vinija.
Do you think there's a benefit to buying reading it if you hit legend? Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
even pro athletes like still go to training camp every year. There's always
Fury
a
Hunter,
benefit to reading someone else's perspective.
I think Fury Hunter so read the book
Oh my gosh, Ninja.
and he said, you know, I already knew most of this stuff, but even just reading it, like to have it all kind of written out helped him, you know. So it's a thing of most stuff he's like, oh, I know this, and I think he struggles with like failure and messing up, and you know he's really good player, so something like that would really bother him, and the chapter on failure really helped him. Um, so in the because he's gotten second place at Worlds, but he's also been in the Masters Tour and barely not made Worlds. So I think different people are going to take different parts out of the book and get value out of them. People are going to have different opinions. So any plays so far that you would have done differently? I'm curious.
Of my own?
Yeah.
Oh,
Obviously, the Eye of
100%.
King.
I don't think there's ever been a game that I've played when there aren't plays that I would change after the game, even if I won. Because I feel like part of something I'm working on is not snap playing.
Mhm.
I tend to look through 2 or 3 different plays and then choose one.
Mhm.
But after I click end turn, I often see play 4 or 5 that I like better than play 1, 2, or 3. And
Yep.
yeah. So each of those games, there are multiple plays that I would change.
I'm playing your deck right now. As I was saying, invite to spectate. Oh wait, allow friends. Oh, I didn't have allow friends. Okay, never mind. Yeah.
Oh, I
All
see
right.
the eye
So
now. Look into the eye of Mara.
ooh, let's go. Double bumbling here. Wait, I don't have a thing to copy it. That's annoying.
Oh, you're already on turn 3.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, fill me in because I didn't see the first 2 turns.
All right, so I went on I had 2 primordial overseers in my hand. So I went and I had the 0 mana card. So I 0 mana card and then went coin primordial into primordial, and that was the
Nice.
start.
That is a dream opening play.
I believe they are Protoss mage, so we have to be afraid of the Colossus. So
But I just told myself to not be afraid of the Colossus.
well, what does the fear of the Colossus even do? Like we're trying to kill them. Like the
It's a
fear of the
motivation to to smork faster.
yeah, I mean that's just not how things work. Yeah, you can't just it's kind of like you can't just make like you're working out at the gym. You can't just make your muscles grow faster. Things happen at a natural
You're
pace.
crushing my dreams right now. I hope you know that.
So, I would do this, by the way, if I had the big thing to go with it, but I don't. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
go
I
Elise here.
remember this place well.
Fear the fleet skater more accurate. Oh. Yeah, they do get a lot of armor. Traumatized by Protoss Mage, it's true.
Job done.
So anytime like I do a play that you would be like, I wouldn't have done that play. Let's talk about it. All right.
Okay. Have you named your dinosaur?
Oh, I have not.
Oh.
Have you?
I don't have one.
Okay. I didn't even know I could name it. Like, I mean, you just like casually, or can you name it in the
Oh,
game?
casually, of course. Yeah, no, I don't
Oh,
think I don't think it has a card or anything.
okay. What about Steve? I feel like Steve's a nice Steve.
You know, I'm not here to judge the name that you give your dino. I was just asking if you had one. If it makes you happy, then it's a good name.
Traumatized by Protoss Mage, yeah. So we have an interesting thing where like we love to play these bellhops. It's also like an interesting thing against Protoss Mage where uh, sometimes it's better to actually play like a wider, weaker board because let's say, ooh, sometimes it's better because they have the Sleet Skeeter. So if you have a 6 attack minion and they freeze it, then it does more damage, or they get less armor. Um, it's
True.
not like an absolute rule. It's more like, well, how do I actually do that with my brain? My brain says, okay, getting down a Grofin isn't necessarily a strong play because when I get down the Grofin, my opponent is just going to,
Get more armor.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
So,
fair.
so now we're in a this is really interesting because we might just have 2-turn lethal from hand here. So I can, let's do the math. This is 12, right? This is another 4, so that's 16. This is 17, or this is 18, and this would be 2 twice, so that's
22.
18, 22 to 26. So we have 26 over 2 turns. So this is a great spot to weapon hit. They might find a way to freeze our face. We decide if we want to go pop up this turn. Like if I think we do. I think we don't press this though. And I think that's a really scary line for them.
Okay, so this is really interesting because I don't think I've ever seen someone play the weapon, like prioritize weapon over getting bellhop on board.
Yep. And so this is a spot where we know their deck is good at removing their boards. We also know that their deck has the Sleet Skater, which can be this. They might gain armor, and this play might not work, but it forces them to respond. And also, even if they respond to these frogs, which is scary for them, right? So this is like a very, I understand the strengths and weaknesses of their deck, and this is a very classic like I'm setting up 2-turn lethal play. By setting up 2-turn lethal, I limit their plays, and now we're gonna win. Got him. Right. Right. Oh, it's like ultra winning, but I'm just gonna go with the line that I had. So I think that's like a really, I've played a lot of like this kind of archetype, and that's the skill of like knowing how to set up a 2-turn lethal from hand. And I saw that, and I went for it, and it won. They played the Colossus, and we still won, by the way. So even the big
It's
Colossus
true.
that we were so scared of didn't stop us. So what is like what we reflect, we say like, okay, the Colossus or this didn't kill us. 2, the weapon from hand over 2 turns was a really strong play.
Mhm.
Now I'm kind of reflecting on things I already know work well in that matchup did well. So I already kind of knew some of the tactics there, but sometimes you just accidentally do one of those things, right? And you're like, oh, that worked. And then you remember it. You can either accidentally do it or study somebody else. Those are the 2 ways you more learn new techniques. So if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, I think like one, um, the disadvantage of going the weapon is they might just do some more the 2-mana armor play, right? And
Mhm.
deny our 2-turn lethal. There's not a guarantee there. And usually the traditional Hearthstone says stats on board most important. So we have to be able to make some adjustments. And there wasn't a perfect play. Like there were trade-offs to that play, but it
Mhm.
worked out. And even just us remembering like that worked out this time, because even saying like we didn't need to be afraid of Colossus, they couldn't kill us. So there's all these little reflections that we can get after that game to adjust our future plays, and that's like the power of the reflection step.
The other
I
thing I
mean, the
really
study.
liked about you playing the weapon there instead of the bellhop is that a lot of Protoss spells are removal. And so by limiting the number of minions that you had on board, you effectively made it so that they couldn't ramp up their Colossus to as much damage. Because I feel like when a lot of us see a Colossus, it does a lot more damage than it just did to you, which gave you that extra turn.
Yeah. I think that the big thing was just like me, but yeah. So what we did, we did some chip damage. They were moved. We saw we got the direct damage for Elise card. The +2 attack worked really well, and we killed them from hand. So just knowing that's an option helps us direct our win conditions better, because we could have gone for like a shutter block into the 8-drop play and put 32 attack on board. There's a lot of ways we could have approached that, and that's kind of what my instinct was. But yeah.
Yeah, no, that was good. I'm gonna remember. I'm filing away the weapon play.
Yeah. And so the weapon play is like not so what's a matchup that like the weapon play is often going to be bad against, and that's popular in the current meta.
Aggro paladin, aggro demon hunter, maybe.
Yeah, maybe not. I'm not sure what aggro. So yeah, so you're thinking of these tempo mirrors, and that's right. Like in tempo mirrors, these burst plays. So I think one of the things is I saw from your game against Warrior. Cheap bell health here. Just I don't know. This might be bad mulligan. I thought about doing something weird there. So this mulligan might be bad. This isn't a spot where I did a mulligan, and after the end of the game, I might reflect, oh, that was a good or bad mulligan. Where was I going with this?
Job's done.
So I felt like when we were watching your Warrior game, you were playing it like you were playing against an aggro demon hunter. You were just like very much fighting for board. And I think we want to approach the Warrior matchup different than we approach the Tempo matchup.
Do you feel like that matchup is winnable after they play the quest reward?
Yes.
Okay.
Because you have so if you're putting continuous pressure on, right, and they're always anxious and they're using a brawl, sometimes they'll play the quest reward and they won't draw their list. And let's say you get the full health because you use the Zilliax, and they all of a sudden, while they have powerful stuff, you went triple +2/+3, so your minions have absurd life. Every minion you play is a potential death for them. So that's the power of this deck, like that it can just crush these really greedy decks with even more greed if it gets the right hand. So, what's my point? But yeah, so the weapon play I did would be really, I was gonna say, is bad against like Discover Hunter, because you do that and all of a sudden they just put those 2/4s in the way, and you can't get through, and now they have board and you're kind of just dying. Make sense?
Yeah.
But it might be good in a situation where they have the 2/4s in play, but you happen to have
Static Shock.
I don't know, static shock, or maybe it's like a little bit later and you have already played Shutter Block and you can go Shutter Block plus Grofin and get through those taunts and go lethal. There might be situations, but I'm more just saying the simple. This is interesting of like whether it's Hagatha or Elise. I could see either one. I think I'm gonna go. What do you think it is?
I would always go Hagatha.
I'm gonna go Hagatha here. I think Elise is also reasonable here, but I think it's Hagatha. It usually gets us the 5-drop and the 7-drop. We actually wanted to give us one of each. Ooh, this is bad.
Ooh.
We didn't want it to give one of both this, because now our turn 5 is bad here, right? So if we knew it was gonna be this, it might have been better to go Elise there.
Would you ever think about going Elise for 1 here, since you have like a wider board?
I think so. Lisa for 1 is probably good, but not because of the wider board. It's more because I have a great turn 6 play. I have a great turn 7 play. So when am I going to play this 5-mana location? I play it, you know? It's super awkward. So I think at least for one is our strongest tempo play. And because we're also up against a rogue, which is more of a tempo class. So yeah, that allowed me to get some value trades there. I got the Furious Falls, which and then we got the Wish Upon a Star, and this is a real kind of nice situation. This is a little awkward because yeah, that's why I usually go least. We were just talking about Crony. Something fails you, and you say, "All right, this failed me. I'm never gonna do this play again." That's what we don't want to be doing, right? Is it Furious Falls or Frosty? I think our life total. I think we'd rather play on Curve. Now, I'm not going face here. This is the opposite of my bias of what I told you, right?
Yeah, so can you tell me about that? Because we could have gone 6 face instead of 3 and only chipped Elise a little bit.
So I'm basically in a spot where I want to maximize the chance that my Wish Upon a Star is good. And so I could have put him down, and I think it's unlikely I get the 2-turn lethal here. So I just want to do the board that maximizes board pressure here. I don't have any weird lethals, right? Wait, Furious Fouls is 6, and it might have been wrong, by the way. Like if I had gone this, we would have had lethal this turn, right? So my play might have actually been bad because we could have gone face, put them down to 9, and then had lethal here. But that's why I did it. So even reflecting, what's the reflection here? I think you're right. I think we should have gone face. But let's see. +4, that's 10. Yeah. So I think the reflection here is that because I had the second Furious Fouls in hand, because I had the second one of these, it would have been better just to go face. Make sense?
Yeah.
But I think if I didn't have the lethal from hand here, because if I know I'm going this every turn on 7, I think trading was better. So I think because I had this, I think you were right. And that's the even in-house reflection, like during the game, of just recognizing my trade play was probably incorrect there. And it might cost us, they're doing this.
No, we're winning anyway. Famous last words.
Easy top deck. All right. I think I did that. So the reflection was, okay, it was probably better to go face with the double Angry Birds on the previous turn. That's like the big in-game reflection. Any other sort of things you would have done differently?
No, that's the one thing I would have done differently. I would have traded Elise to do 6 face instead of 3.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I think, I think if you're going to go face, then you go face with Elise too. So you do 9 to face. With trading Elise and it's probably makes sense. So better off just doing 9 to face.
Why would you do 3 or 9 but not 6?
So 1 is a play that maximizes board control. So the advantage of going the 6-mana guy is that, so when you trade the Elise in the 2/1, your Elise loses 2 health. So that's why I'm doing the 6-mana in the 2/1, is I want to just maximize the chance that I have board control for the next turn.
Okay.
But like that play was incorrect, by the way. Like it would definitely, the more we talk about it, would go face. But that's the logic of why I thought that. Where if you trade, you don't have that immune effect. So if you're going to do that, then the value for Elise having another 3 damage is immense because now their life total is really low and we likely have 2-turn lethal. So makes sense.
That's fair, yeah.
So even just you could see, and this is the
For tension.
yeah, I have a whole article on Reddit on board tension, you know. So
Oh, I thought Illidan was being totes and approps. Never mind.
oh
Yeah, Murph Dog thought the same thing I did, so I got you.
evaluation bar where every suboptimal move, but yeah. So you know, it's kind of like the interesting like the game theory spot to like trade in a spot where we really want to go face is if we don't trade, our opponent can counter lethal us, right?
Yeah.
So it might be a spot where you know, that's a very 1-0 situation, but I think that's the general principle. So even that game, like I made that mistake, right? Like there's always this active reflection, like just go kind of knowing what kind of values we have, and then like reflecting on how those plays went. And I have chat always yelling at me, why didn't we do this? So that's
So I have a follow-up question. Your line of thought on keeping Elise's health. I mean, they could have traded and then she's still down to less health. So what is
so when I do the 6-3-3 in, we have 3, 6, 10, 11 health on board. Because the 2-1's dead, where when we trade, or even they trade, then we have 9 health on board. So I'm maximizing board presence there. So I can maximize my chance of my 7 drop doing good. But like we said, probably the incorrect play.
Okay. Experts at finding infinite mana lethal. That's a funny comment too, because I feel like we're both streamers, so we're used to people commenting on our games all the time.
Yeah.
When I watch someone else as a viewer, it's like so hard to watch because we all have our own play style, and you know, like I'm sure chat feels this way sometimes too, where they're like, "Why did you make that play?" But yeah, infinite mana lethal is funny.
The skill as the streamer is you have to invent a rationalization that why your play was perfect. And
that's funny.
I always assume that I'm incapable of making a mistake. And then yeah.
It's funny because you and I are both like such optimists, and then to hear you say, I always think I'm incapable of making a mistake, whereas I am optimist, but I always think I've probably made the wrong play, which is like, you know, like after every single turn, I usually am thinking like second guessing, should I have done option like 3, option 4? Are you saying that in jest, or do you usually feel like you've made the right play every turn?
I actually think like earlier on I would doubt my plays a lot more. It's more as a streamer than as a player. Wait, can my opponent throw here? They had enough courses. It's more as a streamer, you know, I have to create the illusion so Chad that trust me that I'm incapable of making a mistake, right? You have to destroy evidence that of past mistakes. But yeah.
Wrote a book, surely no bad plays. That's good. We'll go with that.
Oh, did we just win here? Holy crap. This is oh wait, no, I'm 1 off. Whoops. Whoopsies.
I
thought
mean,
this plus
it's
one
still a
attack
really
was
great
double.
position to be in.
Yeah. My brain thought like Wind Fury and went plus 1 attack and thought it would be lethal, but I actually think this is the right play because the ultimate flex is putting your opponent's life down to 1.
Yeah, and they
So
have 2 corpses, so
My hand is full.
they're not in a good spot.
yeah. Dude, we're winning so fast today. We're playing Quest Warrior yesterday. It's taking forever, so. Wow. I never make mistakes, yeah. So, I think what's also interesting is like the idea. I mean, I'm sure you know about the Pareto principle, because it's in math everywhere. Uh, but with distributions, but I talk about the Pareto principle of if you get 80%, the most important 80% stuff in the play right, and you get 20% wrong, you could still just crush it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so like figuring out like what is really important versus what are like the little nitpicky plays that the nerds who are trying to win worlds can figure out, but the us streamers like we don't really care about. We're keeping things interesting for the chat, right? So
That is such a good reason I'm going to use that. Keeping things interesting for chat. Mm.
Fall for his live, yeah. It's I feel like I don't know. It's I would be the teacher that would intentionally throw misinformation to my students to force them to think for themselves. So anything else related to the games and the book and the process sort of you're interested in asking about?
Um, how about a general question, like just your experience as a Hearthstone player, because I get the sense that you've been playing longer than I have. What are like 3 pieces of advice that earlier Hearthstone player you wishes that
Yep.
you had known?
Ooh. Because I knew a lot of the stuff that I would tell other people from poker. I'm trying to think of the things I would know. Um, hmm.
Like if you could
Hmm.
go back and not have to learn something by losing, what would that be? If you didn't have to go through the painful experience of finding something out, or like also in the
Yeah,
vein of like you saying how you've learned a lot from like crowdsourcing or hive mind or discussing games with other people, seeing other people do specific plays. Is there something really niche that like maybe 80 or 90% of players maybe don't see that you feel is something that earlier Hearthstone player you would have liked to have known back then to avoid
I
the
think
growing pains of learning the game?
I think I still was a little bit too much in all or nothing thinking when I started. And then like I'm just like this is the right kind of like, oh, I just do this tempo and I magically get the win. And I wasn't making the full connections of like values into like why they help. And what I was thinking about is like I remember like certain like little epiphanies I made. I remember so I would watch there's like a website where you could just watch replays, and I was learning Quest Rogue, and I was watching a Quest Rogue player play against Zoo Warlock, and this is the old Quest Rogue where you had to get all the 5/5s, or it was 4/4s at the time because it had been nerfed, and they just played their Buccaneer on 1, and they didn't play Quest, and that blew my mind because I thought like, oh, you always play Quest on 1, and I think just knowing that there's probably no heuristic or rule in Hearthstone that doesn't get broken in certain spots is just the right like, and you have to figure out the logic of like at the end of the day, it's all about what play wins you the game, and so I think maybe that of like knowing. So I think also it took me a while to like, I kind of like knew it unconsciously, but to really consciously understand the board tension which I think is like the most important thing in Hearthstone. Oh, this is a great hand. All right, we're gonna crush this warrior. I think I'm a really good warrior player, but I'm also even better of like beating warriors because you know how to beat what you love.
Yeah,
So
that's true. So why do you think board tension is the most important thing in the game?
okay, so I mean, probably spending your mana is the most important thing in the game. But after that, so the big thing about Hearthstone is that minions on board get to attack every single turn.
Mm-hmm.
So if I protect this 10 attack on board, this is like a pyroblast every single turn. That's absolutely huge. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So just like if I can always now, there's also this element of scalability. This is a very important concept in Hearthstone, where my opponent's brawl will kill 7 minions, or let's just assume it kills all because it's simpler. It'll kill all the minions. So if it'll, or let's just say sorry, 6. So they'll kill almost all the minions. So right now, brawl only kills 1 minion, where if I had 7 minions, it will kill 6 minions.
Mm-hmm.
So there's actually diminishing marginal value by adding each additional minion onto board, because each additional minion scales my opponent's AoE more. That makes
That's true.
so these are kind of like the advanced concepts. So the idea of board tension. So there's like board tension in tempo matchups is a little different than board tension in mid range versus control matchups. But it's, you know, if you're an owl TK player, you don't really need board tension. But I think it's like one of the most important concepts of just like knowing how to what minions to like are really important to remove, what minions aren't. And I think it's kind of what is interesting about Hearthstone is the board and how to utilize the board. Because other than, you know, you might be playing one card, but you might be attacking face with 3 minions and trading with 2 minions, and you got to get the order right because they have a taunt. So there might be a huge amount of plays on the board every single turn, and getting those really optimally and really clean will make you win a lot more.
Be quick about it.
I love to be what I love. All right, this is another spot where I'm turning down. I'm turning down. Oh, I probably should have done a static shock for one. All right, I'm gonna mess up here. That's a. So I should have done the static shock on their 5, but I turned down some face damage. I could have gone just this, but this is a really good situation where keeping the max board tension is way more important. And this is just enough board where if they don't remove this, they lose the game, right? I'm gonna go Wish Upon a Star triple here.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of why I'm doing this. Ah, this jerkwad. Oh. I do something a little weird. Instead of going to triple, I can do this again next turn. The counter is rat. So this is me breaking all the rules. I'm supposed to go Wish Upon a Star, but I want to keep board tension here. So I'm doing this now. Could put so much stats on the board, and I can follow up next turn. Unless they go Bob, but yeah. Those are the kind of plays that it's really, if you're coaching, it's really hard to explain why I think this was better. And
No,
it might not have
I
been
would have done the same thing because Dracorax is gonna clear, clear your
Yeah.
board, and that also forces them to use a brawl if they have it.
And now I just follow up with this, and I get to push. This is like a really threatening board because even just sticking one minion here, when you get the Wish upon a Star, I get to push 12 here. You know, bam. And now this is what I'm saying, where we get in the spot against Warrior, where every minion I play now is an existential threat to my opponent. You know, so that makes it really hard for them.
Another thing I've noticed is that you didn't pick off the hostile invader. I feel like that would have been. I would 100% pick off the Dracorex, but I probably would have gotten baited into taking off the hostile invader too.
Yeah,
but you 100% don't need to.
Yeah,
because it's so buffed. Who cares now?
But I coincidentally waited for the Zilliax. That's the play you
I know,
like, right?
reinforcing what I should not be doing.
Wait, is there a way to get through? Okay. Let's just do this is easier. So now, like, my opponent's gonna complete quest. But what I love about these spots is when you're up against a warrior. Let's say they go brawl, right? Well, then I just slam Alec here and clear them. Kill them. They have to go brawl. They also have to gain armor, and then they have to kill the last minion, right? And how do they gain armor if this lives? It just, you get in this situation against a warrior, and it's just so bad for them.
Oh, it is 100% not that deck. Let me grab it for you. There you go, Kirby.
No more holding back. Retreat.
Easy.
Nice.
Easy. So, I mean, so you can see, like, the skill just adding all these. So there's like the high level, and then there's like the mechanics, but it's a lot of, there's a lot going on, and I think that's actually interesting that we both thought killing the Draconix is right, but you would have killed the hostile invader.
And then I would have buffed, and then I would have been like, shoot, I really didn't need to do that. And that's one of those plays that I was talking to you earlier about. Like, one of the things I'm working on is playing slower. Because I feel like picking off something that does damage when it dies is a snap play for me, and I'm trying to break that habit.
Yep, and that's like you recognizing a bias, and I think so the higher level skill is saying, just trying to almost say, how dangerous is this minion? Instead of just saying dangerous or not dangerous. Oh, it's a little dangerous, or it's really dangerous, or it will win the game, or if it's or there's some minions that are actually better to leave on board. So if your opponent has a 0/2 totem, that actually might be better because it limits their board space, right? But it might be worse because they have the +2/+3 spell. So there's just all these, but that's a lot to do in a game, right? There's a lot going on. But that's the general, the more we can sort of categorize and reflect and be like, okay, because a lot of Hearthstone is, you eventually understand tempo, and you understand board tension, and you understand value, and you understand the clock, and you understand two-turn lethals. But it's finding the interaction between all of them. And what's interesting about whenever, there's a rotation or a new expansion, every pro player becomes an amateur again because they're playing in the new meta and they're getting crushed. Because all their equilibrium spots are different now, right? So they have to relearn the new equilibrium and the new interactions between values. So I think for Hearthstone, more than a game like chess, you really have to understand the values and their interaction, and then play with them, hit those failures, make those reflections to find your new equilibriums, your new local maximums. So I think where, if you're playing a game like chess, you might just know, oh, this is the right play, and you forget why. You just know it's right. Make sense?
Yeah, because chess has been around for so long and doesn't have metas that there are literally books you can read that will explain every
Yep.
single play.
Yep. That's why Hearthstone's more difficult than chess, right? The Magnus Carlsen, it's no big deal, right?
Wait, are you trolling?
Yeah, kind of. I did post I did post the, like Magnus Carlsen thing on my Twitter where so,
Because I know nothing's changed in chess in centuries, but like that's still a lot of different plays to memorize. And I know that I haven't played chess in a long time, but I know that there are some people who just feel so overwhelmed by it that they'll learn like one play style and that's like what they're known for and they basically only play that.
yeah.
Mhm.
That's what I did in high school, where I always played the perk defense. Um, and I was better at black than at white because I would just play really defensively. And then I would wait my opponent to drop a piece. And because I was on fourth board, not first, people would drop pieces. So that was my plan. And it worked. Wow, this is really interesting. Like, do we go primordial?
Yeah, so
I
I
think we go
saw you go for bird
primordial.
watching there, and I would usually just against a hunter drop an unbuffed primordial. What was your thinking on bird watching instead of having board?
Well, I just wanted a turn two play, and there's not many good turn two plays, but I have Primordial here, but that's card draw. So it's actually very tough because like
Unless it
we
gets
could
buffed
hit.
by Turbulus next turn. That's why I would do it. So I want to know the argument against that.
It also is annoying though, is like this when it gets buffed by Turbulus, we'll do it.
The sands
Um,
speak,
their most
and I
likely
listen.
play is like Coin Niall here, and that will create a 3/4, which we don't actually value trade. So it's
But we
so it's
wouldn't have been able
actually
to trade it
close.
next turn anyway. If we had bird watching, then let's say that we like got our Murloc, we still wouldn't have been able to pick off Niall.
And it's hard that the Niall is going to value. Okay, this is not as bad as Niall because it doesn't value trade our Turbulus here. So that's all.
Clear skies, not a cloud in sight.
The thing I need to reflect on in this matchup is sometimes it's better to trade because I'll be like, oh, I'll go face, and then they do the Sylvanas play, right?
Yeah.
Where I that even like when you get anytime you get surprised by something, that's a great spot to reflect and be like, I wasn't thinking about this. Next time, let's think about this. And you can see I've already recognizing they've played the Ranger Illyria. I need to be thinking at any time they can deal 4 damage to my board, which
Mm-hmm.
is pretty bad. So yeah, the chess meta has changed a lot, but still, it's like, has it really changed that much? I know people do a lot more queenside queen spawns openings now than they used to, apparently, but
Double, double, toys in trouble.
it's awkward. Like debating if we trade here to like protect the 5/4. I think I'm going to. Questionable trade here.
Why do you
Questionable.
consider
Like,
that questionable? Because I would call that pretty good value.
I mean, it's not. I mean, it removes a minion on the board. It's more just
I
three
am
face.
watching closely.
It's
'Cause
we're
to
the
me, in
aggressors
this
here.
matchup, like when you're against the Windrunner Sister Hunter, like what don't you consider clearing out minions before they get a bunch of Skrungucks and block you? Like, isn't that a pretty decent line of defense?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but three face. I mean, this is a 2/1 where it's not that threatening. So, I mean, I think the big logic of why is like I have this Wish Upon a Star in hand, and I also can like look for Shutter Block up the bird watching. And if I get this, remember we get this play down, that usually ends the game. So this is like the idea of I kind of know what kind of speed of a win I'm going for. And if I'm going for a slow win, then controlling the board goes up in value. Or if I'm going for a fast win, controlling the board goes down in value. Makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going for a slow win here. I hit the shutter block, which is what I wanted. So I think I could go this, but it's not duplicated. So I think I'm gonna do a super. Wait, is it? I think it's actually growth in here. gonna
Sure,
go
but we
this,
have to
but-
continue putting opponents' life to 0. Oh my gosh.
And I'm gonna do a super over boring trade. You know, but this is because I have this into this, and once we play this, it's probably over, right? We even also just have like into Furious Falls as well that does like 15. So I don't know. There's actually was a case for going double faces like well, so illegal trades. Yeah. My chat is shaming me for those trades. But, I think another it's
Sisters, my arrows shall strike down.
and this is look at literally the thing we were thinking about.
Yeah.
Honest. And just knowing that. A little scary here, because I want to go. I'm wondering if it's ever. I think I'm actually going to kill Sylvanas here and delay my Shutter Block play.
Mhm.
And here's why. This is like the only card that they can really like control the board and also deal burst to my face. Now their minions are going to be overstated here, but mine are going to be more overstated soon. And you know the funny thing is I could also just go Wish Upon a Star and skip the whole Shutter Block play. That actually might be correct. So it's a thing of like that's their big board control play of their deck, and once they've used it and they didn't bounce it, it's much harder for them to win back board. So that's kind of my logic of like why I think it's really valuable to kill that there. This is an interesting. I think I'm probably going to end up going Fairy Tale Slime next turn, and it's interesting in that like the original plan was do this big play, and now I'm probably just going to be going double face here. Yeah, especially this weapon now. So I'm skipping the Shutter Block, and now it's part of me is tempted to trade on this, but another spot where like we're kind of just winning. Wait, oh shoot. Whoops, that's fine. I forgot. I thought it was gonna be Explosive Trap for some reason.
I did too. We both got debated.
Yeah, but I just pushed the face damage here. Now like they're just that close to death, which is nice.
I am watching
They
closely.
can put the 2/5s in the way, but see if we go 6-0 to Legend here. It'd be nice.
Nice to meet you.
Like 2/4 taunts here. They got the bouncy boy. But even like, so this is a really great example of like the power of the aggression, in that we kind of forced our opponent into like a weak play here. I feel like they shouldn't be that happy with this play. It's pretty weak. How much damage do I have, by the way? I have. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. No. I have Static Shock and this. No, I'm just making sure I don't have lethal here. So. So. I don't know about this. So this play, I think, put a bunch of stats on board, but it also, I have lethal from hand here. So we have, this is 8, this is 10, so they don't put taunts in the way. That was the logic. It was a weird turn. I could have gone Frosty Decor instead, but I thought getting 2 6/7s is better than getting 2 2/4s there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm playing less around. I think like Grifta lethals is where my play might have been weak. But I think overall that's kind of what I was going for. You could see like the different things I was thinking about. Frosty Decor, saving the 3-mana spell is good with Hiking Hammer. This is a real punish, right? I mean, it's not even a real punish because it's like, but it's something that that they get to resolve, which is quite bad actually. Okay. Hmm. Ooh, you know what? Like, you can go. All right. Shutter block, bumbling. Debating. So the way we lose is like some sort of grifted double damage here, but I could also go Frosty Decor and play. Maybe that's better. I like getting the shutter block down, but I feel like I'm safer. The Frosty Decor, I don't know. Hmm. Yeah. So you see what I was thinking about there, right? We can put more stats on board. I think they never get through the taunts here, and the way they win here is like Grifta deal 6 and then combo deal 6 and something like that. But the disadvantage of this play is it's less likely to hit up 2-turn lethal than if I went shutter block and then did a whole board of 6/7s there.
Mm-hmm.
So ooh.
Ooh.
Ooh, wow. Interestingly enough, the armor play probably paid off in
Yep.
that like you got armor. Okay, now I interested Ziliax, so I think I just take the Ziliax play because it's the safest here. I think the most likely way we lose is that they get some sort of Grifta scam lethal. Even though like going shutter block is insane here, right? But it I think this is just enough to win here. Like they have 4 cards in hand. They haven't gone Nael. So it's just they're probably gonna have a hard time stopping this, you know? Tukan has become a hunter, hiding behind taunts and removing them, I know, right?
Lush wilds and clear skies. This could be our
Oh,
home.
there's the Nael.
Nice to meet you.
I have a second one of these.
Nice to meet you.
Freezing trap is. Wait, no, I can play around freezing trap, right? So I want to kill the Rangry Scout, I think. Do I want to double? Do we double static shock this to kill it? Maybe we do. I guess there could be rat trap here. It'd be probably explosive though. It'd be interesting if they stabilize and win here. but I think there's lots of opportunities to take greedier plays, and I didn't. So I think we got him. I think they're gonna die. Wait. Oh, another secret. No, never mind.
Four Scrungux. Oh man.
I think if it's freezing, wait, if it's freezing trap on Zilliax, that's bad, right? Because I think I want to play this into it. Weapon if it doesn't actually kill anything. Dang. We might lose this.
My eyes aflame, my cursed name.
Let's see. Dude, this game has been really weird. Do we play a dual class? Should we play the dual class Bra Mama, man? Could be fun. It's like is it up to 3 wins? Does sound fun.
8 combatant sensor, and I take the crown.
I love Bob so much, but not when he freezes my board.
You want Bob to be on your side.
Yeah. Ooh.
Ooh. I'm like trying to figure out a way. I want to go the Static Shock, but
Aaron, I
doesn't
thought you were
actually-
just really upset about that.
awkward. I would try to kill this 5/8. This is the scary thing where they get Grifta and they deal 6 or something, or
Such choices.
oh god, this freeze is really bad. Also, like playing this damages my own minions, which is a big negative because it makes it more likely. All right. Wow, I didn't get it. It's not for sure they were gonna get an Incendious play there.
Shaking a stud.
They've got another Brewmaster, but they didn't play it here, so we'll see how we go.
I'm surprised they played Neri so early because they got to freeze once. And then they're just relying on Incendious.
Not much time left.
I think they're just very low on value here. You know, they're just kind of out of stuff. So they just want Neri on the board, and they're doing it with the Bob. It's a very much a desperation play. It's kind of, but that is a negative that they had to ceaseless their own Neri, right? So maybe it was incorrect. But now I'm out of stuff here. So okay, I happen to hit really good. I think it's a good chance it's what if I go face first? I think there's a really good chance it's yeah, it's explosive. I was worried it was ice trap there. that's nice. Or ready for this? See this every day. Murloc Grofins that are 8/8s.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I'm just winning with value here. I'm gonna hold the weapon charge there. They have, let's see, they have how many more procs of the.
Wait, why are you sad about the triple shutter? There's nothing. Oh yeah, we have the other Grofin. Oh, was the other one still activated from the first time? Shutter myth,
I
they
could
never punished.
Well, the second shutter on the Murloc Grofin would have also been 8/8s, so because these are already so buffed. But we wouldn't have killed the Ceaseless, and 13 damage to face is one of the few ways we can lose here. So
These could belong to a brand new species.
I think chat is saying that you still had the shutter from the first big shutter, and we didn't need to play mini shutter yet.
oh yeah,
But it's
that was
okay
the-
because we already know that you don't make mistakes.
Yeah.
That was not a
I was just
mistake,
trying
chat.
to-
It was for extra luck on the next draw.
Exactly. All right. Jeez,
It's like the secret menu, in and out. You know, if you played both shutters and then you draw, you're more likely to draw what you want.
This is a spot where they're kind of out of value. They have 4 cards left in their deck, so I can play for value here. It's also I'm so close to just winning with Alec here, so it's kind of close. But I think the most likely way to win is they just scam some lethal here. But
Why are you holding on to the last swing instead of redrawing the buffed hammer? Are you like thinking they're gonna scrunguk it up?
Draw like a buffed. Actually, the spells aren't very good, but it's more so I could like use it to control a minion or something. But holy!
Oh, ouch.
Okay. But I think we still have them here. Not this turn. Okay, what are they? Do we know what the card this is? This is a mixologist demon. Okay. That's scary.
It's a bug because it should have been 9. Oh, that would be disgusting.
Oh, I got this guy? That would have been so nice if I had the mana. Okay, now I'm gonna hit. Alright, I think we got him here. Alright. What are their last cards? Let's see if we lose. Wow, that was a close one. I think they're out. Yeah, they have a taunt. Actually a pretty good card to hit. But and some random demon, kill Jaden.
I can do no more.
Wow. That must have been terrible.
That was exciting. So I think like not showing us the demon, it was easy. I think what's interesting from what I was like talking, maybe a high level thing is from your mindset. You were saying thinking of like, oh, the beatdown, like I have to kill them or they have to kill me. But I think you could see this deck has a lot more reach than maybe you thought, where we can outvalue decks often. We have a lot of stats, right?
Yeah.
So I think so. Those are even that's something you power study of like just seeing through another person's perspective. You could be like, oh, No Hands plays this in a very different way than I played this, like philosophically. So, final boss. Should we go for the rank for the legend?
Yeah, do it.
But all right. Well, we won every game. We went
Not
5 in a
showing us
row.
the demon. I know I'm going to be wondering about that tonight when I go to bed. What demon was that? That it was so terrible that they just conceded.
Yeah.
One of the things that keeps me up at night.
Dreadeye. I have to play against Dreadeye. Dreadeye is going to know how to outplay our deck. So mid-range. So what do you think our decks? So our decks weak. What do you think our deck's weakness is? Like philosophically.
It's pretty heavy on spells, so it runs out of minions.
I feel like we have a lot of minions. I don't know. We have that's not the answer I was looking for.
What's your correct answer?
I think I was more looking for the fact that so we have these like really big statted plays, right? But we're actually not as good at like dealing with a wide board. We have a few ways, like we have the 3-mana spell, Avatar Form, and Hunter can make these really awkward wide boards, or even stuff like this. And oh,
Yeah,
God.
that's true. We don't have AoE or early removal.
And he knows this, and he's playing this to ruin my life.
Yeah, that was a
This
YOLO Nuri. That's like,
is the kind of play that Dreadeye, who's gotten triple #1 legend before, can make, because he just knows my deck well, and he knows that I'm very unlikely to have a good answer for a 5 health minion. I could have like Static Shock plus Pop-Up Book, right? But that's 4 damage. So I think he's going for that, and now he can get this 1-mana spell and immediately play it. If he gets +2 health, now it has 9 health, and it's really hard for me to remove. But it looks like he. 4-2. Right. Ooh, I hit double Static Shock. All right, we're gonna go. Spell damage? Nope. So interesting that this is a Neri's got to go. Because we could have cleared both the 2-3 and the 4-2. And tempo fundamentals say clear more stats. But we're like leaving Neri is a bad situation. So
yeah, that's surprising.
yeah, I mean they have the spell in hand. Like so many of these spells with Neri are so punishing. You get +2/+2, and it's over often. So it was a very lucky top deck that we hit that Static Shock, because most of the time that's not killing us, and he's gonna play a bunch of stuff and he's gonna ruin our lives. But luckily I got that, and he's playing into our weakness of bad board control, but we happen to hit some of our only ways to kill, like the 2/5 from hand there.
Time moves quickly.
Wait, what? Oh my god, dude!
Oh
No!
my yog.
Drink with me, friend.
Oh, and he's bouncing her. Wait, he's bouncing this. Oh, dude. So this is the kind of stuff like I didn't think about. Like maybe he got. So this is a great spot for reflection, right? He got revived. It was the only minion that had died, so he was guaranteed to get her. That's like. So even just that's something I wasn't thinking about at all. So. Oh my god. Dreadeye!
Shaking a stud.
Dude, you get +2 health, and all his minions are going to be unkillable. Let's see. Deal 6.
I mean,
here.
you can kind of play around that.
Wait.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, I don't think they actually compound, so it's not as bad as it looks. what a weird game. Funny thing is, we're not actually as bad a spot as I originally thought. He's only got 3 cards, but I don't know. He could just get a fast lethal here. That's what I'm scared of. I want to go Wish Upon a Star, but
These
get
could
these
belong
buffs.
to a brand new species. Who could put a price on such
Oh my god.
Oh
Just gets-
no.
So see how he like played into our weakness, and that's the kind of like adjustment. Those are the kind of things of like why mid-range shaman doesn't do as well at top 20 legend as it does at even top 200 legend, because players like Dreadeye will know like the weakness of our deck and play into that and do really counterintuitive lines that put tons of pressure on us.
Well, and he probably knows your play style from playing you before, right? So then he also knows that you're unlikely to trade out the 2/1 that was on board, and so he has a really small dead pool
Yeah.
of 1 minion.
Dreadeye denied me 100% win rate to
Oh
legend.
no.
You can see up there. All right, now we gotta
Rude.
say 80%. So there goes my clickbait.
Oh.
That's so predictable.
So then that begs the question, like, for me, I usually, as soon as I see someone play the potions 2/3, I kill
Mhm.
every small minion that they have, so that if they resurrect something, they get trash. But like we had the conversation earlier about like value trading versus like the importance of setting up like 2-turn lethal or doing more pushing more face damage. Like, what was your thought there in not removing other minions off the board and letting Neri be the only minion that died?
So I thought if if I get rid of Neri, he loses one of his big power plays. And so I was like, and I have, we went Hagatha. That's our big play. So I thought getting rid of Neri was the right play. If I let's say I
Oh, I
know
100% agree. Let me rephrase. So,
oh
like,
sorry.
I would have gotten rid of Neri too, but the turn after that, I would have gotten rid of the Glacial Shard,
Mhm.
which you left on board.
Wait, I didn't have the. Did he immediately revive it? His Neri
Oh,
there?
did he? Was it the turn after?
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
well, then that just sucks.
but yeah, I think in retrospect, it was right to kill the other 2 minions and leave the Neri up, which feels terrible,
He
but I
did.
think it was.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I think the recognizing like, even the fact that he didn't play the one spell immediately with the Glacial Shard play, so is often a tell that he got the revive card, right? So,
Okay.
which is something I didn't think about at the time. But so there's a lot of like good little reflections that we can get from that game. But I think you're more asking like how do we decide between going face and trading, and I think it's like the big thing is like just reflecting how our instincts go, and then saying like, okay, my instinct to kill the Neri actually backfired immensely on me. And I have to make it more complicated picture in my mind. I have to know, okay, when you kill Neri, it's the only minion that's died. That doesn't necessarily work because they just revive it, right? So especially with the 2/3. So that's a good adjustment in my own brain to make
And
about like
especially since they froze your 1 minion instead of doing the 2 to all plus 3 damage.
yeah, yep. They could have easily had +2 health there. They could have had something like so awkward. Top deck 3-drop. No.
Yeah, that was a pretty good draw. Scout and Grifta.
Oh, this is bad. You can see this is another situation where our playing into our deck's weakness of having a hard time dealing with a board when we're behind. Like we have to play these just big stats, but we don't have like the clean removal plays that like a rogue would have. No parrot. Oh, there is no parrot sanctuary in this list.
There is no parrot sanctuary.
Okay. I mean, we're doing pretty well with no parrot sanctuary, so I can't fault the looking at just the stats. This is bad. Oh god, she's dead here. That's so bad. Like I really. I feel like the way we win here is like top decking avatar form and going weapon here, but we can go Furious Falls. Just not really winning. I don't know. Is there a minion in our deck that we can win with? Not really. This is probably a loss. I'm trying to think of like, what is the winning? I mean, maybe Thunderquake. It's a really bad situation here.
What is the most flammable?
I'm gonna do this. I don't really like it, but I mean, if we can get to Ziliax, I guess that's our win condition. But this isn't over. It's just very, very unfavored.
Have you filled out the paperwork?
Savage Roar. Wow.
Damn.
That was
Hit
pretty
one
good.
off. Okay, I think she's gonna go all face here, and then maybe we get the greatest comeback, and I have to ban half of my channel. Wait, oh, I'm just. Taunt? No. Alright, they never have 1 damage from hand here, right? No!
Eviscerate. Oh, rude. They didn't even combo it. Disrespect.
Alright, now I'm no longer 1 win away from your legend. Let's spectate you again.
Okay. That was good though. Thank you. I like, I got the weapon trick. I got the don't fear bad situations trick.
Yeah. So really, like, the book is not about the tricks. It's more about the system of adding these tricks. You go study, you see somebody else, you say, oh, I wouldn't have thought of that, right? Then you go and you practice it. And then practicing is easier in Hearthstone because you kind of just play games. If you're in other art forms, you have to be a little more deliberate on your practicing. And then you sort of add it. So the idea of you start with deliberate practice where you kind of like do it more than necessary. You sort of shove it into spots where you normally wouldn't go for that kind of line, but you're trying to learn it. And then eventually you incorporate it into your whole system. So, and then you reflect on it. You think like, how did that go? Did that go well? Did it not go well? And that's kind of like the system of the book. It's less about, I can't teach you every little trick, right?
Yeah, when I
figure
say tricks, I mean repertoire, like the tricks you have in that become second nature.
Yep. And I think the book is more like about like how do you figure out those tricks? Because you know the first pro player that comes up with a trick doesn't know often, right? But then once one pro player knows, like they can all copy off each other. So is Twitch chat cited in research? I do, you know, right, you know, in the thank yous, I say my viewers, my big thanks to my viewers is the first thing for people I thank.
Aw.
Before, then my students, then my mom, then my dad, then my editor, then my buddy, then Monsanto and Fury Hunter.
Wait, did you just
Alright?
say you thanked your viewers before your parents?
Yes.
Have they read your
So,
book? Have you gotten
my
a phone call about that yet?
yeah, they made the book, all right? It's they should be proud of themselves. What do you think of value trades? What do you think the play is here?
So I would rather that they only heal one turn instead of multiple turns. So I was gonna pick off the Divine Shield and then get rid of the 4-1.
I think we should get rid of all these. So I'm just curious. Well, I'll just see what you do, and I'm curious if you get the value trade right. So,
Okay.
got it. More of a technical play.
See, the thing that I worry about here is like they already have 3 corpses.
don't
What would
even
you
worry
do in
about
this situation? Because this is already like a formidable board for them on their turn 4.
That's good. That's good that you have pressure. And if they go corpse explosion, you have an immediate one. They have to use coin, and then you have immediate answer. I think we even trade our 3/3 into the 1/2.
Really?
Because we have the healing totem. That's why. So.
Oh, true. That's true.
And we're early on in the game, so it's very marginal, and it might be me being wrong. But that's what I was thinking. I see. I'm actually a trades kind of person, so when more and more saying that because when I say go face, it's almost always go face because I hate going face. All right, let's see. Yeah. This is so good here, right? Double trade.
Double thunderclap. We love that. Plus
you got
the
6
heal.
follow up. You got Furious Falls to have a follow up.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to really go Corpse Explosion here to stay in the game. And then we probably go Weapon Double Face because then they would be at 9 and you'd be setting up the 2-turn. Same kind of play as before, right? So.
Murph, I say the Kappa, but that's actually true. Like we wouldn't have been able to play Muradin if we had traded.
So true, yeah. So
We'd be stuck with our little froggy frog.
0-1, right? So
Yeah.
the fool. Yeah, David. Chris always says
Yeah, RG, exactly.
Don't clear off their board and board locked by opponent. Say I got them right where I want them with only 15 of damage on board. So.
Okay, so normally I would go Furious Foul here. What would you do?
I think Hammer is better because you're dealing over 2 turns, 18 damage. If they don't heal, they lose the game. Let's say they took 1 mana location from Elise here, which we don't know. They probably took 5 mana. But they took 1 mana location and they gained 3 armor, you still would have lethal here. So I think I prefer this.
Okay. Because I know we do 12 over 2 turns with this, but we also do 12 over 2 turns with this.
Yeah, but let's see, they heal. If we'd gone, well, we don't. We do 12 over 3 turns if they don't remove the board, and they would have removed the board there. See that?
True.
So we wouldn't have had it, but now because we went the weapon, we have lethal, right? So Furious Fall Space. So I think that's like the big thing, setting up 2-turn lethals is like a really powerful concept in Hearthstone. And I think that's
Yeah, I didn't take their release location into account that they might have the raptors. That's true. Our birds would have died.
Yeah. And it's harder to remove weapons. But sometimes there's a Viper meta, right? So Stop I talk about getting banned in the book, right? Because I basically when I'm arguing that people should hang in there till the very end, right? So where to
It's
go?
interesting hearing you say that because so many people that I've talked to argue with me about that exact same thing. Because again, being an eternal optimist, I usually feel like, all right, I could top deck one of these 3 cards that could get me out of this situation. But there are other people, I won't name names, who have told me repeatedly, like, Bree, like the odds of you pulling that card is so low. If you cut your losses now and just concede and move on to the next game, you're going to hit legend faster and have more time to win more games in the allotted time that you have to play. So what are your thoughts on that? Like
Yeah,
stats conceding for time management versus like playing
like time
something out
management.
until you know that it's a loss.
Like imagine you're talking to your spouse and you're like, "Can you just get through the story faster so I have like more time management?" Like, or, like it's like the joy of like a back and forth long game. You know, like why are we trying to end this? And I think there's like you learn so much when you win a game that you thought was unwinnable. And I do it every day. That's why tens of thousands of people have been banned in my chat.
Tens
Right?
of thousands. Wow.
Tens of thousands, right?
Okay.
So yeah, it's I could be making a much better living, but that's the I can make to have integrity, all right? So
uh,
but yeah, I think the give up mentality, it's so toxic, it'll ruin your life.
yeah, that's
Uh
true.
without it- so I talk about so in something like poker, right? Or
Can I pause this? I want to hear the rest of what you have to say, but I also want to ask you a question before the rope burns.
I like
So
pop-up
normally here I would pop up
uh,
Psych and Primordial. Is that
yeah.
what you would do
You'll
too?
you'll also so it's either that or girlfriend into bird watching. Uh, I actually think it's girlfriend into bird watching because you'd rather hit hagatha on curve
True.
and hit hagatha on curve. So interesting. Yeah. So um, and this is 0 1s. So okay. So most of the time, like if I've seen people they go they finally make Masters Tour. They play and they lose their first 2 matches. And was it Turbulus or Elise here or Ziliax? Ooh, they're all kind of. I think we're up against. So like, it might be Elise. Like Turbulus is really good too, though.
I
Elise
would
can
tend
be.
to say Elise here because they look like they're Alonius.
Yeah, I think well, at least 5 mana location is so much stats, and also the 5 mana deal damage one is like really good against Owl because it turns all like it's a Savage Roar, right?
You wouldn't
Like
go for armor
a
against Dollhouse?
No, we're gonna go kill them. Before,
Okay.
like they do like 30 billion damage. You're
Okay.
not gonna. So yeah, it's maybe if I was playing Control Warrior and I think I could get up to like 80 life. But all right, so what do you think? Do we go Coin Elise or do we go Pop Up Book Primordial Overseer here?
That's a tough choice. I like the stats on Overseer and I like the card draw, but we also have 2 5s now. So
I think we'd rather go for the Elise location, but it's more like I don't think we want to use coin here. No. I think we want to go Primordial Overseer with the Pop Up Book because we get to save coin then.
okay.
And I think that's better. Because if we go coin Elise, the next turn we end up just floating a mana. So that's usually that's why I think it's incorrect. Okay, so we're talking about giving up. So I think like, if you're like in a job that isn't working or a relationship that wasn't working, or like I was saying the tournament's not working, right? Like you go 0-2 and you're probably not going to make this. Even the experience of like I'm in this tournament situation, I think yeah, at least 5 is very valuable. It will help you grow so much more than playing on ladder. So you think like, oh, I'm wasting +2 attack is so good here. I think like Rush is good. Yeah, that's really good. That's like exactly what we want. So even just the experience of being in this tournament situation with the pressure against people who brought real lineups is so valuable. And there are situations where people go 0-2 and then something ridiculous happens. It doesn't happen very often. And you've already like flown out to your Masters Tour. You've put in the time, you put in the cost.
Mm-hmm.
Like even though it's odd, like people are acting like, oh, I'm wasting my time. It's like your time isn't that valuable, you know? I know what chat's doing. They're not being super productive with their time. All right. Ooh, is it? uh, I think it's location here. But like
It's not hammer
yeah,
time.
Hammer Time, it's close. But they have a lease location in hand, so they're probably gonna remove. It's close. I don't know.
Interesting
But
You
what
can
if
do
they
it.
have raptors? We want our raptors for their raptors, right?
I'm more just the lease location. Like it takes a long time to get value from.
That's true.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. But I wouldn't like. It's a marginal play. Like I could totally see Murden being right. I just think this is slightly better. You
Now,
can
I
even
would
stop.
normally trade my face into this. What would you do?
I think you trade your face into this because
Okay.
board presence is more valuable. This 2/1 can do more damage next turn, and if it survives for 2 turns, it does even more. But yeah, what was I gonna say? So I think it's just really valuable as a growth opportunity to hang in there. Um, and I think people, just the value. Ooh, now it's shutter block into like coin Murloc
Growfin.
growth,
Yeah.
sure. And then I guess you probably static shock the 2/1 just to protect your life total. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's yeah, I think hanging in there and finding those outs, and the fact that so many people get banned in my channel is a testament that. And so you probably have heard. You ever heard that study where they ask people, okay, give a range for like 95% confident that like how long the Nile is, or they ask people, okay, what's this, and how confident are you? And human beings are overconfident often. You ever hear those studies about that kind of stuff?
No.
Ooh, okay.
I've heard studies about people being overconfident in their like physical strength, getting injured, but not in their like fact knowledge.
Yeah.
So go on.
So people are usually overconfident in their ability to evaluate whether a game is over. Source me. I've seen it for years. All right. I don't have actual data. Just trust me. Uh, and so, yeah, 85% of people are considered unidentified drivers. So the fact that people get it wrong so often is you're better off just if you think you're going to lose, just play it out and then lose, and then you're like, oh, I was right. But if you do that every time you think you're going to lose and you play it out to the end, you're going to win some games.
That's
And
true.
those games that you do win, you learn so much because you figured out certain outs in certain ways. And there are always spots where chat's like already giving up, and I'm like, I think we're going to win easily. Yeah, I'll look here lethal. Yeah, nice. Close. So it's a thing of like nice.
32.
Yeah, slam
38.
here.
Wait.
Button
They have
way over.
they have 39. Oh, we have our click.
Yeah. I think you have lethal on board, so you don't even need that look here.
But we like Alikir.
Yeah. So I think just like the hanging in there mindset makes you grow, and yeah, it's I hate the give up mentality that this community often has, and it's not this community; it's just everybody. And I think the big thing is like there's no cost other than your time, which is not valuable for most people. Like I've
Wait,
exaggerated,
what?
but your time is more valuable.
Did you
spent doing
hear that,
something.
chat? He's
So your
I
time is
can't.
more valuable hanging in there, trying to find the win, right?
Oh, ouch.
Yeah, so it's Starship
I'm
Robo's pretty
crying.
fun. Yeah, so you've already paid the cost. So it's kind of like you went to an all-you-can-eat buffet. You're already in there. You might as well you can hang in there instead of, you know, you've already paid the cost of your rank of your MMR.
That's a good way of
Uh,
looking at it. That's true.
Yeah. So I think the big thing in real life is like, you know, maybe people say, oh, like don't give up on your dreams. Sometimes some dreams have to be given up on, you know, they're not going well, you
Yeah.
know, and so I think in real life, your time is actually, you know, more is more costly. But for one game of Hearthstone, it's not. And it's not like if you're gonna like give up early to go stop wasting time, the correct answer is just to log off Hearthstone entirely, you know, and like go for a jog or call, you know, do something, you know,
Do
like you're
yoga.
playing Hearthstone, so you've committed to that. You're better off playing the game and growing from like the actual experience of trying to hang in there than giving up. So this is interesting.
Hmm.
Avatar form is like nice to spend our mana, but it's like so good later. It's actually so close here. What do you think?
I like avatar form here just to keep our board alive.
It's close. I think more I think about it, I think we hero power. I think it's too good against Hunter. They have these wide boards of 2 health minions, and we can clear their 2/4 here.
That's
And then we can
true.
go at least 5 mana location. We hopefully hit healing totem, but like,
I
yeah,
still want to pick this off though.
I think we pick it up. Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
So so this is another thing. We have a slow hand and a bad hand. Like we have a not that great of a hand. It's got some good things going for it. So this is a spot where we err on the side of trading because we
Mhm.
need to make sure we survive. Where there might be other spots. Yeah, you're trying to say your time is more valuable with hard matchups. Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. I think people think they're wasting time hit this, and the value of it is not only that you could win, but you grow more from like playing these tough matchups. Uh, what do you think? All right,
I
it's
think
whatever.
anytime that you're decision making, you grow more than just giving up.
Yeah. Yep.
It's like Shea
And,
LaBeouf said in
just
the
do
famous
it.
PSA, just do it. Make your dreams
Shia
come
LaBeouf?
true.
I thought it was Shia LaBeouf.
Oh, Shia LaBeouf.
Okay. I usually get pronounced everything wrong, so I was wondering if I was pronouncing his name wrong too. It's like a reputation I have on the stream.
It's Shia LaBeouf. Oh, I like that. Now I'm gonna remember that next time and say it wrong again. Thanks. Okay, so normally I would want to play Hagatha here, but with their Wind Fury and their
What interesting options.
I'm gonna go on a limb and say I think it's location here. Location is 12 mana worth of stats, and I think it's better to get that down now and start getting value out of it. Because if you don't take it now, Hagatha's awkward. We play off curve. Frosty Decor gets wrecked by things like the. So I think we actually play the location here.
and then just swing into Xavi.
Well, we evaluate our spell first. We probably swing into Xavi. Yeah.
No one knows how to say it. Trust. Oh, we could volatile,
Ooh,
volcaic.
Here.
Do we take volcaic?
Oh no, I was gonna say either. No. That's the worst. Okay, I don't think that one's right.
Okay,
would
it's
think
not you.
even-
I have a fear of the rope burning.
Okay.
I don't
think
like
that-
making decisions at the end of the rope. Is anyone else in chat with me? I can't. I see people play something at the end of the rope and I'm scared for them. You like the Firehawk better? Yeah, that is good too. Because we already had the 2. Oh, shoot. They got the 6.
That's bad. Oh, it's awkward. Probably, you know, the Amulet Hagatha is probably best.
I
You
think
could
so
maybe
too.
but I think killing Grifta is better. But
You're a rope enjoyer.
probably tide pool here.
These could belong to a brand new species.
I found a sea urchin.
Oh, that's not good.
A new finding.
So this is why I wanted to keep the avatar form for like boards like this. But it's still awkward because we don't want to go avatar form. Wait, is avatar form actually?
We wouldn't have drawn anything playable for getting rid of this, though, right?
No. I think we go location first and try and hit something here. Like lightning storm would be great. Oh, storm is that's right? Like yeah, it's always meteor storm here. Get the full clear. Ah, look at that. And then play the frosty decor. Oh, look how good that was. Right back in it.
I found a sea urchin.
How many do they have now? They don't even need Neri, right?
And wait, how do they get 3 of these? Oh wait, that's oh, they got 2 from Grifta. Okay, yeah.
I know, they didn't even need Neri. I know, why do some people say thank you at the end, right? That gets me too. I'm like, bro, you need to go touch grass. Be out here saying thank you to people when you're about to win.
I enjoy some efficient BM myself, you know. So
You
it's,
do that?
yeah, you know, I'll do a little, you know. It's yeah, it's the casual game, you know. It's yeah.
Auto squelch plugin for the win. Yeah, I know. I think you actually can now. If you have Firestone, can't you squelch your opponents? I haven't looked at the menu since the last update. It might be a thing.
BMing is part of the book. I don't think there's anything on BMing, to be honest. Maybe I'll write the second book, The Art of Being Toxic, right?
Unleash the
And
fire within.
but it will argue to not be too toxic because it'll hate you and then you won't be able to be toxic in the future, right?
The art of tactful BMing.
Yeah, tactful BMing, exactly.
All right, so this is an awkward mulligan because normally I would always keep bellhop, but I would think that I'm getting something large to follow it up with because I'm usually tossing 2. But here I feel like keeping this whole hand, even though I don't have a 1.
Because then you have a turn 2 play, another turn 3 play, and a turn 4 play, and a turn 5 play. That feels kind of decent. And
So,
you know,
wait, did you say you would keep this or dump something?
Throw away bird watching. So you want to hit a big spell. So if you hit a big spell, then your hand's really good. And look at the perfect hand. Perfect hand.
Either the Legion dies.
How good is Turbulus versus aggro on coin? I think we would put out Bumbling first, and then we would Turbulus, right?
I think you play out Turbulus first because if they remove the Bumbling, and because then they come in as 4/4s, right? So sometimes you play the if you know they're not going to remove the bellhop. So this is a spot like where knowing their deck really well would be advantageous. So let's see. But now we know
since they're playing Broxigar, yeah, they probably have a ton of removal.
Yeah,
That's
so
true.
more stacks better. So I think Coin Turbulus is the stronger line here.
That's true.
But in theory, like we knew they like at 100% chance of not removing our 3/3s, it would definitely be right to 3/3 there. So
The art of mental warfare. Seeking out your opponent.
So me and my dad used to play ping pong, and he was much tougher than me, and I was better than him, but I'd be up and I'd be like 2 points away from winning, and he would just be tough and I would break.
That's so sad.
And he
Wait,
would
how old were
DM like
you when he
crazy.
did this to you?
Yeah. So I do say in the book, thanks to my dad for never letting me win. So he never let me win. So
My dad was the same way. My dad like did not know how to be around children. And so like okay, my mom loves telling me this story because I wasn't old enough to remember, but you know how like some restaurants give out like game menu, like it's like your placemat, but it's a menu and it has games on it for kids. My dad would always apparently ask for an extra one so that he could like finish the games faster than I did and then let me know that I lost. I'm like, what the
terrible. Oh, it sounded like I don't know. Just wanted to let you know, my 8-year-old Bridget, that I'm better at this than you. All
I
right?
know, right? Like what? Like you have an engineering degree. I'd hope you're better at the menu at Coco's. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Look, you just get, you know, kids get too cocky, you know.
Yeah, that was always his concern. He told me from the time that I knew how to talk, like he didn't want me to be too cocky. But here's the thing, I never was. So he was like just making me feel bad about myself before I even got to that point. And then that made me like the opposite. It made me like so unconfident that it gave me like imposter syndrome as an adult. And I have had to fight so hard to not have that. Now you know why you don't get visitors. Oh God.
I've heard some twin studies where it might just be where, you know, one twin thinks they're really like clean because their parents weren't clean, and another twin thinks they're clean because their parents were clean. So it might be a thing of like,
Are you saying clean?
well, clean, yeah, because I know I had like this ruthless competition for my dad, but then now like it made me like ruthlessly competitive. But my brother, my younger brother is not competitive, so but my older brother, so I don't know. It's I think sometimes maybe it's a little sink or swim where people go to one extreme or the other.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Ooh, actually, this location plus Murden play is phenomenal. Ooh, it's gonna crush them here.
No, not from that.
Every creature faces a choice.
Whoa.
Or die alone.
That's an early Kill Jaden. That they really not like their deck that much.
They must have, chat must have just been aching them. All right. Let's think this through once you play the location, and then
Hammer of the High King, come to me!
what do we think?
Hammer of the High King, come to me!
I think you're like best off protecting both of these guys, like, you know, trading all the 2-1s into the Kill Jaden, trading like the oh, so trade all your 2-1s into the 7/7 here, and then use the pop-up book to finish it off. And then you're like 5/5 into the 3/3. You can make a case for the 7/7 as well. I think the 5/5 is a little better. And then now they're just
Actually
off.
though, but don't they have like a deal 3 to all?
I don't have much time.
Yeah, I guess I'm just like trying to protect the 7/7 all. Either could be better. You decide what you think is best.
I think I'd rather do this because then both of them survive if they do have the 3 to all in hand.
Yeah, this is a spot where I don't know their deck well enough, so I'm basically deciding based off my biases of like, okay, I'd rather have a big minion, but I don't know that. That's literally just my emotional feelings. See, this was the random punish, right?
That was
Now I'm like, see? But I didn't know
demonic
that.
deal. At least it put nothing in their deck.
I think they would have gotten it
Oh, so
anyways.
they had the 2 stingers anyway.
Yeah.
but they would have taken 2 more face. Oh no, they're going into the frog. It looked like they were going to protect both stingers. Oh, they did. Yeah, we would have done 2 more face.
This is interesting, like what our line is supposed to be here. What do you think we should be going for here?
I feel like we have to remove their board and keep board before they start drawing buffed demons. So I would probably Furious into the Imp and then pop up into Grub.
I think that's fine. I'm kind of leading towards, like, I think I want to say you're the place, but we have this avatar form. So we can kind of just ignore board and then play avatar form next turn and deal 2 damage to the whole board. So I'm like kind of leaning towards hammer and double face, play the 2/1, maybe even pop up on the face, with the intention of like avatar form next turn, with like maybe bird watching into. That's kind of what I think. We also might just get lethal with Alakir or something. You have, oh, actually, this is easily the right play. You have Alakir next turn, and you go 5/5 copy, right?
Oh, true.
So that will deal 16 damage. We have 22 damage, right? So this is, oh wait, but they do have this lifesteal minion here, which I forgot about, by the way. But our Alakir, we can copy it and then rush the 5 damage into it and trade it so that we deny the
Divine Shield, yeah.
So yeah, this is another spot where like
No.
so this is okay. We just have to adjust our plans, you know? No big deal. Yeah, I think Elakir is right
I think that's
here.
still a good play though.
Yeah, and do the copy. We'll should probably 5. I'd say for simplicity, do the 5/5 divine shield into the lifesteal minion first. And then we gotta decide. Okay. Let's see. They have another lifesteal. We could just ignore it though. Yeah, I think I like the 3/6 into the then 2/2/1s into the 5/4.
Mhm.
And then I kind of think you just go face with everything and then like 2/1 into one of their 2/1s. So face with the 5, face with the 3, double face with the weapon. Yeah.
So we just leave their life steal there.
Yep. So what are we gonna do next turn? We're gonna go like hammer plus
Because then they end up healing twice.
Yeah. So we don't want to heal spot twice. They're not gonna heal twice. We're just gonna kill them next turn.
Oh, true.
So, and even if like they put a taunt in the way like this, so this is like a concept of when you have removal, like let's say you have a spell, then trading off their minions goes down in value because by leaving this minion on, let's say they trade into the 3/6, now our avatar form gets value when it kills it. So basically, the only reason we like trade often in these spots is like to prevent ourselves from getting like 2-turned, or from getting counter lethal. But we have taunts in the way, so going face goes up in value. If that makes sense.
Another soul.
Was it really better to attack with a weapon? What do you mean, Danny? We have another one.
And yeah, now we have lethal here. Nice. Easy.
This is the second time that we've had this palindrome.
Going face works. That's what we learned. What is the win condition? Put our opponent's life down to 0. So it's you know.
It's insane that avatar form also hits face. I think it's fair. You only get to play it once. It doesn't
Look,
seem
we're
super
playing
OP
this
to
deck,
me.
so you have to defend our cards. All our cards are reasonable, all right? It's our cards that, you know, those cards need nerfs, all right? Like, I don't know why the devs haven't gotten on that.
How can we have a win con if we don't play Kil'jaeden? I know. What are we even doing?
Does your channel like lose their mind about Kil'jaeden and tell you to slam it every time you have it in the hand?
No.
Okay. It's just my
My
chat.
chat's pretty chill. They
Alright,
usually
my
don't yell at me unless I'm about to like do something that I will regret for the rest of my life.
Good. My chat,
Kil'jaeden on 7 wins everything?
yeah.
I
it's
don't know
like,
if you're trolling, Murdoch.
I don't think they are. It's
I feel like most of the decks that I have Kil'jaeden in, it's like a tertiary win con. Like I'm not playing it unless all other bets are off.
chat wants it to be the #1 win our complete game plan.
Complete game plan. That is trolling. Okay, so against a deck that's probably going to be slower, like Druid, what are your thoughts on keeping Shutterblock versus tossing it? Like normally I would just toss this and wait to draw into it. Because I'd rather, there's so many cards I'd rather have earlier, like Turbulus, Elise.
Yeah. Well, I think the easiest way to beat Druid is just put a bunch of minions at him in the face. The question is, do we keep Bellhop and Frosty Decor? And I think no. I think we throw away this whole hand.
You wouldn't keep Bell, but we're on coin.
Yeah, I want to be greedy. I want to hit Flight of the Firehawk and then play 2 buffed up Bumblings.
Dang. All right. We'll try that.
Yeah,
This will be a
go ahead.
first for me. I've never tossed that combo.
Yeah, and also what's nice now is we had Grofin. Also, we could go like bird watching and hit it, make them 5/4s, right?
That's
So
true.
basically, there's a lot of like I actually value keeping bumbling in my deck here, so that I can get more value out of it when I buff it with my draw cards. So, but
Is there a class that you would keep that against? That's not Druid?
I don't know. I'm vibesing here. Like oh, this is nice. Now we would definitely keep Bellhop if we hit it. Oh, we didn't. Okay. I think Elise is better. Elise is just too good of a card. Yeah, I think yeah, I don't know. I think so. You're recognizing that having the 3-drop and the 5-drop are like is a decent play. But I think sometimes we want to go for more. And then like sometimes we'll just randomly run into that anyways. So it's basically just not it's not a bad like it's a marginally like okay card to have in hand, but I think we just in this spot we'd rather mulligan for more. So I think it's coin Elise here. Even though like we losing coin is awkward. It gets a 5 attack on the board, which is nice.
I remember this place well.
She doesn't know the Greed Lord. Ooh, it's Discover probably.
Job's done.
Oh, you took the characters. Characters might be the best there, actually. Like, I was thinking 2-1s, but I think this is actually just... I think your choice is actually just better than mine.
Fill the skies with a
Ooh,
cast.
There's
awkward.
AV on 4. Yeah, I don't like having the 2-1s versus Druid because even if they weren't AV on a Druid, they'd probably be playing Swipe.
Yeah, I
This
have a
is so
really
awkward.
weird way. I think... I kind of think we go... No, 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 no. Like, call me crazy. I think we should go pop-up book and avatar form, like hit the Sky Aviana. I guess we do it, no, we do avatar form on our Elise, trade into the Sky Mother here, and then pop-up book it. So we remove that, but then we have these 0-1s on board. And then they get the +2 attack next turn when we play our location. This might be a really dumb play by me, but it's kind of this is,
Job's done.
I don't know. This is very questionable. this is the spot where it goes wrong, and then we reflect. We shouldn't have done that. But like, I basically minions on board when you have the +2 attack are so valuable. So having these 0-1s aren't really 0-1s; they're 2-1s. So that's kind of why I like it.
That's fair.
It really does this because it's not the guy. See, this is where I can practice. I can try out new ideas. All right.
Do we still do this even though we are down 5 attack, or do we?
Oh no, yeah, you just throw this down. Yeah, it's amazing. It does 8 damage right away, and we get a 4-mana spell discount. Ooh, multiverse is insane here, right? Yeah, I mean instant multiverse. Yeah, for sure. The next turn we can put. Oh, so good. But yeah, look at that. Look at that. Look at that damage. Like our board of 0-1s and 1-1s just did 8 damage to their face. Pretty good, right?
That is pretty decent. You always get swiped there, right? But we learned today, James, we can't play from a place of fear.
If you swipe your 0-1s, that's a win for you. They spent 3 mana killing
That's
a
true.
1-1. Right?
Ah, freaking husk.
Oh, this is interesting because like Fowls is
We get a
insane on
really good instant multiverse if we play Hagatha first, right?
Does the 12-mana minion with the minions like have board space issues? Yeah,
I don't think
think
so.
all right, let's do the Hagatha. Like
Or
you
do we
said,
or do we get rid of Psy to keep our froggy frogs?
I like the multiverse play because for the content, right?
So play Hagatha and then multi?
Yeah. You know, I don't have a good feel for this card. So this is the idea from my book I call exploratory practice. So there's deliberate practice.
And you always make sure, chat, that you do exploratory practice when it is your friend's account, not your own. Just throwing that out there. These are trash.
Yeah, these suck.
That's trash. Okay, Krog, let's go. We like Krog. Now this forces them into removal. Otherwise, every board they play is trash.
Yeah, you can learn plays like this from my
Yeah.
book. All right.
Take notes.
Make sure you buy it on
Take
Amazon.
notes.
Have you filled out the paperwork?
Multiverse into Krog. That's how you win every game. Don't be Blizzard. Oh, that sticks.
Get this lucky, right?
I mean, but don't they kind of deserve that because they're playing a super high roll deck?
Exactly.
You attract what you do, right?
I forgot to put that in the book, but like figure out ways to say that why you're deserving of winning and the people I'll be
No. Oh. Terrible. Oh, that was so beautiful. This is awkward now. And we're overloaded. Gross. Gross.
Maybe use the pop-up book on the 3-1 and save this undershock.
Yeah. Oh, you would have?
I don't think we pressed the button here. I think we're better off waiting.
Oh, definitely not.
Damage.
Not with the +2.
We just want like the button as fast as possible to get the discover value, but that Shadow Flame was pretty brutal though.
Yes, Sharsh.
Oh, no.
Wow. That's a throwback. Your rage.
The exiled ones shall find solace in the storm.
Okay, what I'm thinking here is like some sort of fairy tale, the Wish Upon a Star, but also like the Terror Run. We could hit like Hex. So I think we press the button first here and then we evaluate. So
Do we do it again? Or do we deal 3 to Kair and freeze Yasharj?
I think that's the better play here. We have like so many things we want to spend mana on here. So yeah, and then I think we drop down the Wish Upon a Star. No, the slime one.
Oh, I didn't see
Just
that I
take
was
the
holding that. Thank you.
and
Good old Barnes into Yasharj. Oh, yes. I remember that.
and then yeah, we're letting them get more value out of this, but I think we're better off just killing them.
Yeah.
We have Alec here for lethals. We can Zilliax next turn if they do something strong with their minions. So, ooh, saving the static shock will pay off, and we can use it on this taunt. Ooh, that's not good. Okay.
Wow. Well, that is unfortunate. And their swipe. Wow.
Uh-oh, alright. This is bad.
Well, we got punished for leaving it. In Sandcastle.
This is very bad.
Wow.
I don't know. Alright, I'm trying to find a way out of this, but looking tough.
Flames on the side of my
Yeah, but then we
face.
3/3s to face over 2, but then we die.
They have the eternal life anyway, so even if we put them down to 0, they wouldn't die. So
I think this is our only possibility.
you might actually play Zilliax and then not trade.
Yeah,
be
that
the
way
right
they have
play.
to trade into the Divine Shield too.
But you could double trade into 7/12. Both are acceptable.
Although, yeah, what if they have their second swipe? Then not trading feels terrible.
Yeah. I think it's right to double trade because of the Divine Shield. But so what is So this is What is our win condition here? It's actually probably like high roll some sort of spell off Terror Run that clears the board. So trying to think. I mean, the really thing that losses this game was this Wish Upon a Star steal. Like that was brutal. Because now just all their stuff is just overstated. It looks like they have lethal. Yeah, they got lethal.
The Titan's experiments will not be disrupted.
This is rough.
Wait, are they one off? Oh, here, Bar.
You have only delayed the inevitable.
That was rough.
I'm blaming Blizzard on that one. So, right, when to ignore the book and say that was some bull.
Well, or was it going for the meme play instead of going for a safer play? Because the turn that we played the 12 mana versus stats, like what were the other options for that?
Well, because on Furious Falls, our play worked out way better. So really, it just our plays were actually fine. So, yeah. So
Is that wild? No, it looks like it, doesn't it? Standard.
I'm getting a little tired and I need to take a bathroom break. I think we've been co-oping for like 3 hours.
Oh my gosh. Time flies when you're playing Hearthstone.
All right. The greatest.
Well, thank you so much for the co-op. I'm probably gonna go eat real food. And thanks for hanging out, everyone, today. I think No Hands is continuing to stream afterwards, but I'm headed out for the evening.
Okay, yeah, it was fun, and I hope the we learned some stuff like Go Face, but I hope some of the high level concepts of the book were useful, of like how we go about like adding these concepts to our arsenal, and how we analyze different things like our bias to was the one of like, oh, thinking about the worst thing possible.
Yep.
I think the book does talk about that, but with more like kings into aces. So it gives a poker analogy, but same concept of Hearthstone. So I hope but yeah, the book once again isn't the actual what the best plays in Hearthstone. It's the framework that you can go and take to figure out Hearthstone. So hope that was interesting, and I hope people like it. So
Well, and I just want to say congratulations again on writing a book. That is a huge deal. There are so many people who say they want to write a book, and there are not many people that follow through. So, congratulations. I feel like you're already winning just getting that out there.
thank you, appreciate it.
All right. Have a great evening, everyone. And I will see you on Sunday, is when I'm going to be on Bread and Butter podcast in the evening. So, stay tuned on socials, and hopefully you can tune in for that as well. Take care, everyone.